Welcome to the show. We are the League of Extraordinary Nerfers. Take 2. It's the Arena special. Tell us what we're doing, T-Money.
Well, tonight we're going to do Arena, and more Arena. Our panel, froths at the mouth when it comes to the importance of getting first daily in Arena. We're so glad to have everybody here for our first Arena-focused member brainwash and hope you benefit as we chat about our strategies on how to improve your rank significantly or hold on to first.
Rename everybody in your shard to Jizz something.
No, shush. We have to do that. We're going to show everyone that. So we're talking about theory.
You didn't hear anything.
Tonight we're going to talk about theory crafting. Got some cool videos coming out for people taking it down, and for Palpatine with ROLO, with clones, with Veers. We've got we're going to talk about how to anticipate meta waves and plan ahead for legendary events, how to choose and mod your team specifically for your unique arena shard, which is really cool. Arena etiquette, and if that fails, yes, my friends, how to snipe like a pro. So here we go. First off, I'm sorry about the technical difficulties for those who have stood here with us. We're going to go to the weather. Teals, take it away.
Yeah, they're saying they can't hear you, T-Money.
Oh, for fuck's sakes.
I'm just kidding.
I'm like flushed so bad. My face is so red.
So that weather, coming up in that northeast, it's coming down hard and it's got a definite big swell. It's definitely a thunderhead with a big load. Keep an eye out. Wear your ponchos, y'all.
Keep a single eye out.
I've got my monocle ready.
Wouldn't that be funny if your penis could be, nearsighted?
Don't look up or you might go pirate and, arr.
This is a good time to talk about the fact that we are a mature 18 and over stream. If you are listening to this with your child right now, you are a bad parent, unless you're both adults, and then, hey, good for you for having such a wonderful relationship with your child. Off we go now into a lovely segment, a new segment called Mildly Penis. Jules, what's going on in this picture?
Well, they brought me out my dessert, and couldn't help but see they brought me, pretty much what looks like a cock and ball and a side of cream.
With like brown jizz everywhere. Does that happen if you're sick? Like you just brown? Is that a thing that happens?
Call that when you get dried off and that dirty old skin starts flaking off. That's like maybe some side effects from too long in the desert. Maybe, I don't know.
Wow.
Yeah. Someone was having a little fun presenting my dinner that night, or my dessert.
Okay. That's pretty crazy. What else do we have for you guys? The game names of the week. People, I am so excited about this. Let me see here. So,
what do we have, man? We had so many good.
We had so many good ones
coming in here.
Bob, do you want to go into the chat and read some of them off? And we'll talk about these ones here as well. I think it's good for us to read them all. So every week we take suggestions in our Discord server, which if you're not there, it's totally the place to be. You can come and we'll tease you, and if you're enough of an idiot, we'll give you your own nickname. And Lamar, who's in the wolf pack, is a very pure and beautiful soul who hangs out in there for some reason, even though we're all very bad people. And so I give him nicknames to reflect that, such as I'm better than you, aka Lamar, or Baby Jesus, aka Lamar, and he keeps getting kicked out of the server. Anyway, I give him the name Angel Jizz, and he actually changed his name in game to Angel Jizz, and started this revolution. So SDS Sniper changed his name to, what was it again? I can't read the screen. What's SDS's name?
We got Saint Jizz, Angel Jizz, Trey Jizz. Trey
Yeah.
Jizz is coming from our friends at the Alliance Phoenix. Shout
Alliance
out to
Phoenix,
those guys.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys made everybody change their name to Jizz. I see now.
We didn't. Well,
Jizz related accessories.
Jizz related accessories, yes. I mean, I made him change it in Nerf herders, but this was like a willing, voluntary thing that he did to change it in game, and it costs everybody 200 crystals. And then there's one more here down at the bottom, which is one of my favorites. I can't remember what it is again.
The most alarming part of this picture is that you guys let a guy in a guild called Peanut Butter Jelly Time beat you in arena. What the fuck is all that
Hey, that's an hour after payout. It's all right.
I don't know.
I was looking at that, trying to find a joke.
Who's that in row? Jizz Whistler. That's awesome.
Jizz Whistler. Like, just allow yourself to just think about that and let your imagination try and come up with an image of what that looks like.
Keep in mind, these are all also our friends within the Alliance, and that's awesome that they all got together to participate in some external mucus type fun.
Dorothea says, I'm pretty sure I got here jizzed in time. All right.
Oh,
All right. So
okay.
did we already pick the game name of the week?
We did, but let's read the runners up.
All right. From Yoda, we have Finger Your Anus. Finger Your Anus. Oh man, it's hilarious.
It's simply amazing.
Oh. Are there more?
We have one from Outgun Diddy. Dong Hammer. Dong Hammer, you know.
Oh
Need to
my.
nail something down.
Oh.
How do you guys spell piccolo, like the instrument? I got
Yeah,
it.
I don't see.
Yeah, PICCOLO.
Carry on. My bad.
I do got to give a shout out. So I threw Teals Jr. into a little guild. Found it on Facebook. They let me in kindly. Lightsaber hockey sticks. I did come across one of their members who happened to name themselves Boo Boo Fat Jab into Butt.
Wow. God, that's just endless, and they seem to get better.
And I can't stop laughing, so I had to share it and shout out to this little baby guild that I'm hanging out in. Thanks for letting me in and letting me laugh with your awesome name.
You got any more for us, Bob?
That's all I see right now.
Awesome. Well, thank you.
There's a guild named Jabba's Genitals.
Jabba's Genitals. That's legit.
And then I actually saw it earlier as well, and JXM from the Wolfpack shared it. Especially if you're in one of the higher guilds or an 80 GP guild. Dixie Wrecked. Put it together. Dix Erect.
Whenever we do these names, I feel like a total anarchist, right? Because like EA is on the other side of this. Like, what dirty words can we think of? And like search and comb the game of the like thousands and thousands of players and
Even if
scrub
there's
these
a
out of
word,
existence.
even if something is part of an entire word, they just star out part of that word. It's like, seriously, I have to space these out.
I wrote in our territory wars, like, please no teams less than, and I used the number 69, and I couldn't use it. They wouldn't let me use the number. Like, that's ridiculous. Like, what if it's like, I'm having a heart attack, someone called the ambulance. My phone number is like 554-5626.
Jay.
Asterisk. Like, yeah.
I don't know. They're kind of odd, man. You can say hell and ass all you want, but you can't write basement.
You can't say the word blow in chat.
Basement?
Blow.
Yeah.
No, Bob said basement.
I said blow.
I know, I wasn't.
Because it has the word semen in basement.
Oh.
Yeah.
You can't say the word document.
Yeah, that's a good one. Finding all the words that have come in them.
Yes.
Like your face. Sorry.
My face.
There's a joke there that just went away from it. All right. Bob, talk about our booze, lest we forget.
All right.
My God.
The drunk tank, huh? Tonight we're gonna have some good old number 7. Made by a man called Jack Daniels. There's only a few good things in Tennessee. I mean, you got like a few Titans, I guess. Nashville as a whole. I mean, that city's amazing.
Nash Vegas?
Nash Vegas, exactly. I mean, I got many stories from Nashville. Oh, it's so awesome. Oh, yeah. But
Never been down there.
Jack Daniels Tennessee whiskey. This shit's amazing. I give it 2 thumbs up.
Are you going to tell us one of these stories or just like tease us with one?
I'm just going to tease you right now.
All right. Keep drinking that JD. We'll get up soon.
Can somebody like let us know every 30 minutes and we'll check in with Bob to see if he's going to tell us a Nashville story?
Done. Timer set.
I remember one time, man, I was down there and like there's a big ass lining in this big ass club, and I was like fucking just walking in there. The fucking bouncer looked at me and he looked the other way, and I just kept walking like, fuck you, motherfucker. I ended up in the fucking VIP room, fucking whatever. All right, go ahead. Go. Next.
Confidence can literally get you more places than you can understand.
Yeah.
I feel like you left out like a massive amount of details to that story, but we'll touch base. It's like, we'll try again later.
All right. Am I forgetting anything, my friends? You want to do some shout outs to our peepee weepies? What is going on there? Stop the music. Oh, is that a pick? Are you playing the piccolo, GoodOl'Maurice?
Yeah. Go get some.
Are you like legit serious?
So what?
Are you legit serious? You just played the piccolo?
I can play the recorder too if you want to bust that out.
Or something.
But it didn't sound like a piccolo. It sounded a little low to be a piccolo. But maybe I don't know what a piccolo sounds like. Say it again. That's a synthesizer.
That's not a synthesizer, it's a fucking piccolo.
synthesizer. All right, moving along.
Okay.
Synthesizer a la keyboard.
All right. It could be a recorder. Yeah, Piccolo is like annoyingly high. Like it's like.
Or he's from Dragon Ball Z, one of the two.
Skin flute. Yeah, Maurice does play a mean skin flute.
So we do have actual game content in the stream tonight.
Like in our stream?
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's do some game content and then, like we'll go through and we'll say hello. I just have to say that we need to have some thumbs up. We need to have some shares. We're at 300 and something human beings right now who have subscribed. Go tell a friend. Go say that there's these really like sad, weird people who stream on Thursday night and get wasted, and we listen to them and feel better about ourselves because of it. And occasionally, maybe, I don't know, I learn stuff off the stream, so maybe if you're a dummy like me, you do too. All right. Whew, I'm so excited about tonight. I'm going to leave taking down the meta for a second. I'm just going to give a little overview of my thoughts on Arena, and then maybe we can go around. You guys can fill in if we missed anything. Arena is the first priority for the game. I think it's not everyone's favorite thing to do, and if it's not, then you're not going to make it first priority, and that's fine. But if you want to succeed at the game, especially if you're free to play, like absolutely if you're free to play, and you want to keep up, you want to have new toons, you want to gear 12 things, you have to be getting your crystals every day, both in arena, regular arena, and in ship arena. The difference between having, being 100th place in both and first place in both is about 800 crystals. So every, second day, you're getting a full piece of gear. Every week you're gearing a toon from 10 to 11 or 11, 10 to 11 anyway. And it's just a really important part of the game. Any thoughts to add to that, guys?
Well, you ain't going to get anywhere if you're not earning your keep in Arena and getting your currency and crystals.
What changes have you seen? Because the Wolfpack, we've put in a top 50 requirement, and we've really gone we've really tried to recruit players who are top 20 in Arena, and I've seen a big difference in just participation levels. Yeah. What are your thoughts on that?
Keeping an active top 50, or preferably as we're trying to keep top 20 Arena, everybody is actually actively playing against the people that have top-end mods and literally tweak to the nitty-gritty on their teams. And it also allows for when we are trying to build these counter teams for, say, TW, we can actually go in and test it against something real that we're trying to counter. And it's bringing up the confidence level and having people actually realize that, hey, if I'm sitting in the top hundreds, that mod game is not the same what I'm battling in Arena TW right now, and it really has changed the game of how these people play and focus and put more attention, or even realize, hey, the mods on my account suck ass. I need a farm, and that's why I'm not getting anywhere.
Well, it's just if you're consistently fighting in the top 20. Day in and day out, you're fighting better mods. You're experiencing high-end game mechanics, and the quicker, basically, this game is all about game mechanics. The higher caliber Arena teams you're facing, the quicker you learn the game mechanics. The quicker you learn how to take down meta teams. The better you're going to do in TW. Your guild. I mean, if everybody in your guild, like you guys, are really stressing the Arena, and you guys have been whooping ass in TW. There is a it's directly connected, those two things, and it's something everybody can do. You mentioned mods, but you can do it without mods. You're going to fall, but you can rise without the speed on the mods, but you're definitely going to fall. But I kind of lost my thought.
That's interesting because I was gonna go, okay, so everyone think of what the most important like the most like what would predict the most success in Arena, right? Let's all say it on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Mods.
Heroin.
Yeah. You don't want to play my game. I was thinking that it could be money, but it's actually not, because you can throw a lot of money at the meta, right? At getting legendary characters. But mods, it just takes it takes determination, and it takes patience, and it takes I think humbleness, because it's not a fun thing to do. But it is the foundation of everything. You know, the people who are hardest to beat in Arena, it's going to be their mods. It's not going to be their comps necessarily. What do you mean about not having mods though? Like, you think you can climb without having the mods, but you're just not going to stay there?
Well, it's just you touched on it last week. You touched on it last week with that list. You know, there are certain characters. If you focus all your speed on a single character in your squad, it generates turn meter or gets the team rolling, and all the rest of your team. You know, we've all had those gold mods that drop, you know, that have 5 speed and it just, you know, blanks all 4 times, right? You're like, you have a hissy fit, you throw your phone against the wall, you're like, blah, blah. But then later you pick up your phone, you're like, damn, that mod's got 120 offense on it. That mod has 25 defense. That mod has 2,000 protection. Like, they're not bad mods. And you can just kind of like, you use all of your mods and, you know, you can kind of min-max a character. Like, if you're using a tank, okay, you don't have the secondary speed. But what you do is you stack as much defensive protection on that character as you can. And a character like Kenobi, you know, he's never ever going to take a turn, maybe, but he's going to taunt a lot because other characters are going to be, you know, generate his taunt, and he just constantly taunts and eats just tons and tons of damage until they dispel it, and then, you know, just rinse and repeat. Like, there's ways around Arena without the, you know, oh, I can't win an Arena because I don't have the secondary speed. Yes, you can. You have to take the time.
Gotta work those mechanics.
Yeah, well, back to the mechanics, exactly. Like, the number one thing in Arena is you have to understand the mechanics of the game. There's a lot of characters in the game, and no one knows exactly how every character works. But I mean, day in and day out, we consistently see the same 20, 30 characters in Arena. And if you're at the higher levels and you see this over and over and over again, you're going to pick up on things. Like, you're going to like, okay, well, I got to put a couple more speed on my main character, like I'm trying to think of an example, like BB-8, these Ray teams. Like, you can have a fully functional Ray team that's not quite as fast as everybody else, as long as your BB-8's fast. And you did a big thing on this last week, Team Money. You know, the main characters to put speed on. If you could just focus try to build some sort of Arena team where you can just put all your speed on one character, and the rest can just be focused on, you know, like survivability, or like if you're using like Raid Han, like Han Solo, you could just stack him with offense and generate turn meter other ways, kind of neglect the speed and just generate turn meter from other characters like CLS or there's tons of them now that just generate turn meter, and just have him go and go and go and go. But when he goes, he hits so hard that it actually, you know, his turns are super important because you can kill a character.
Yeah.
Talk about
Raid Han does not need high speed. He just needs to hit hard. And you can do just fine with plus 30, plus 40 speed on him. For a while, I ran an offense arrow on him because he just hits so hard.
Well, it's just there's certain characters like me. This is the way I play. There are certain characters. It's just, I think I talked about this last week. Just old school RPG mechanics. You min max a character. Well, I don't have all this secondary speed. You just spread across my whole team. So what I can do is I can completely neglect speed on characters like Han, First Order TIE Pilot, Wedge, Geonosian Spy, like just purely offensive characters. You can stack them with so much offense that, you know, and just generate turn meter through other means. Like First Order TIE Pilot, for example, you can give him turn meter with First Order Officer. First Order Stormtrooper's Taunt gives turn meter. Kylo Ren, the old school Kylo Ren, his AoE gives turn meter. So your First Order TIE Pilot is going to get to go just from all the bonus turn meter. You don't necessarily need the speed.
And First Order, just like a handful of these team game mechanics, they take off like a train. Yeah. And he's going to start hitting like a truck multiple times.
Well, and
I think we're learning a lot of this now that we're in territory wars, because we can't, like, for me, before territory wars, I would move my mods. So I'd have my one set of arena mods, and if I needed to do well in something, I just pull them onto something else. Well, that doesn't work anymore, right? So you really have to go in and maximize the mods that you have. And also, I'm farming mods like a crazy woman right now. So, knowing which toons you can kind of, it's like a trade-off. It's like if I decrease this character's speed by 30% and increase his offense by 30%, well, effectively you have the same power within that character.
Well, there's so much, and like people in the chat are talking about CLS. CLS is a perfect example. You put that Zeta on binds all things. You put that Zeta on his lead, and he's going to generate a lot of turn meter because all of his attacks do 2 debuffs, right? So he's attacking. He can do a special move. He can just generate a lot of turn meter that way, not only for himself but for everybody else in his lead. If they resist a debuff, I think it is that you get 5% more turn meter. So if your Han is 10 speed slower than the next guy, it's not the end of the world because you can manipulate that and give him turn meter. It's just there's ways around it. Like, of course, I mean, if you could deck out your arena team, everybody has over 100 speed, then fantastic. But there aren't many people that can do that. Especially in a TW setting where you have to field 4 or 5 defensive teams and then also have some for offense. You really have to look at your mods. Like I talked about those gold mods that you, especially in a speed set. Like, let's say you got a speed mod and none of it rolls speed, but let's say the mod has 15 defense and 2,000 protection, right? It being defense and protection twice.
Damn.
If you get 4 of those mods, I mean, it's going to take a while, but you get 4 of those mods. You don't get the speed you want, but you get like defense or protection. That's a perfect set for a stormtrooper, a shore trooper, first order stormtrooper.
First order stormtrooper, Empire stormtrooper, even bays. I mean,
because what you're doing is you get all these defensive protection, and maybe some of you guys like tenacity, even like protection percentage, health. If you're using like a Barris is good. Like the speed is underwhelming. You got 4 or 5 speed that never ding, but when you put the set together, it's like all of your mods have 7 speed. Like you gain 2 to 3 speed on all of your mods from that set. So you end up getting pretty quick on some of those tanks, and while giving them the necessary stats that they need to survive because they're tanks. You want them tanky. Flat defense is really underrated in this game. I like flat defense a lot. Like those mods that have like
almost all the stats, if it's a flat stat, are so beneficial. You get those mods with over 100 offense. It's so golden for your glass cannon hitters. It really manipulates.
Like me personally, I've worked really, really hard on my bays. I don't really like the character. I feel like he's kind of a cheese dick character, but like in TW, I've got a bays now. I've worked on it for months. It's got over 120,000 protection and health, and he's got about 50% armor. Yeah, he's probably a motherfucker to play. Like, he just takes forever to kill. He doesn't do much. He doesn't hit hard. Some people prefer like a hard hitting bays, but I used what I had and built like a super tanky one.
Not to mention, guess what? You don't need to put speed on him because built-in mechanic. Other team gets buffs, he gets turn meter.
Perfect, yeah, exactly. Like you got to find the characters in your inventory that manipulate turn meter. Like in arena, any part of the game, if you have character that manipulates turn meter, with the exception of maybe like Chewie and Ewok Scout, those are 2 of them they give you at the beginning of the game. You're like, maybe not them, or Tusken Raider. But for the most part, turn meter manipulation is key. In arena, that's what we're talking about tonight. In arena, turn meter manipulation, you win. That's why Palpatine is rose to the top of it now, because you put that Zeta on him, and every time a debuff expires, he generates turn meter for the whole team, just over and over and over again. Like,
and if you hang around, we'll tell you how to beat it. Why not?
And I think that's why Rey is so clutch in territory wars. In arena, it's like you kind of have all the speed that you don't know what to do. Well, that's why I kind of feel with my Night Sisters, because Night Sisters, like, some of them need speed. Ventress doesn't need a lot. Like, you can mod them different ways. You can have a slow zombie. It's not like a CLS team or a Titan team. No slow zombie?
No slow zombie.
Don't have a Gear 11 slow zombie? I don't have a Gear 11.
Zombie goes fast as hell.
My zombie, I don't know. My team, I just find it such an overpowered team that I don't have to pay much attention to it. I guess maybe that's my point. But with Ray, like if you have Ray in Arena, R2 needs to be fast, BB8 needs to be fast, but they don't really all need to be fast. And I think that's why they're so valuable in territory wars, because you don't need to have speed on 5 toons. Bring Resistance Trooper in there, and he's just going and going and going, and Ray's getting Terminator like crazy. They're all getting 10% every time a buff is landed, every time an expose is landed. Like it's like that's why it's so valuable. But what I've been doing, because GoodOl'Maurice has been, talking about offense and defense, and I've been going through my mods and kind of learning what a nice roll is. Like, when you look at a mod and it's got a 3 for speed, you're like, meh, so it's going to roll to like, I think it's 8 maximum for that, right? I think actually I had one go to 9 from 3. It was a 5 dot. And I just...
You can go in +6 intervals.
So +6, yeah. So it was like a green, and I went from 3 to a 9 just by rolling it to level 3. But so, I know that with speed, and I know like don't bring your mods all the way up, go 3, 6, 9, 12, and see what you get before, because it's basically twice as many crystals to go all the way. And sometimes I'll stop at 3 if I don't get the roll that I want. If that 3 went to 6 and it was a diamond, I would just chuck it.
Let's not forget working by colors. If you're trying to roll speed and you see a speed secondary, you need to go to level 3 on a green, level 6 on a blue, level 9 on a purple.
Exactly.
Because otherwise it's not going to roll again.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
The reason being, because after those subsequent levels, a new stat comes in. And nothing will roll again on those new stats.
Exactly. So I do that with my speed all the time, but now I'm starting to do it with my offense. So it's like, ooh, hey, that purple mod has 32 offense on it, but the rest of these have like 23, 24, 25. I was like, that's a really big number. That's like having a 5 on a speed secondary. So like roll it and see what you get. And I'm like, I think I got a 141 the other day, or 121 or something like that. So just like, I'm just starting to build my mod repertoire like that. And so yeah, it's fun. So it's so fun to get a great speed mod, and now you can do that with offense, you can do it with defense, you can do that with protection or crit chance, whatever you're going after for the toons that you're looking to mod.
Well, it's just, I guarantee everybody that's watching this right now, if you go in your inventory right now, you have some mod that didn't roll speed you got pissed off about, and you just forgot about it. But that mod might have 80 offense and 1200 protection and 5 speed. Is it a arena worthy like top high end mod? No. But the TW now, this TW game mode has, you have to have mods for all of your characters. So that is an excellent mod for offensive, like if you use droids for TW, maybe as a cleanup team, maybe as one of your main offensive teams, depending on where you are, as a guild. That's a great mod for like an IG-88. It's not your top shelf mod, but you have to mod all your teams. Flat offense is fantastic. I mean, the flat stats are always going to be way, 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 way better than the percentage stats, at least at this point in the game. Maybe when we start getting to gear level 15, 16, and like level 110, then it might start to balance out a little bit. But for now, flat's always going to be better.
Yeah, like here, just for example, rate this mod. I found a purple speed circle, had a protection primary. I had an offense, protection, health flat sitting on it. Decided to roll it up to 12. Offense 105, protection 1569, flat health 494, and then tenacity was the 4th stat.
That's a great mod for like Han Solo, for if you use them in that little Akbar lead raid teams, like, because he's gonna go because Akbar is lead, right? Like he's not gonna he's gonna assist, and he's gonna assist and counter, and you're really gonna benefit from that offense on those. You might not get the speed, like I guess that's kind of what we're discussing tonight, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, that's just pure example of things you can roll that, it's not a high God mod speed secondary, but you know what? Where you need to use it, say under a certain leadership, it's awesome. If you're getting over 100 offense on as a secondary flat, that's killer.
And we're kind of going into territory wars as well, but like they're all connected now, really.
It's all about team manipulation and how it works, how turn meters fed, and we're just going over those mechanics of it's not just who's got, you're only going to get first in arena if all your teams or everybody on your team has plus 120. No, that's not how it works. It might help, but there's more to that. You gotta.
I think you brought up a really great point, Teals, with confidence level too. I hadn't thought about that before, but it's like you're sitting at 200 and you're coming up against teams in territory wars and you can't figure them out, and it's like you don't have an idea. But if you're getting first every day or top 10 every day and you're still struggling, it's just like you just kind of like you just know you're going to be able to figure it out because you can figure out those top teams. So whatever you're getting thrown at you, it's probably not that much worse than what you're facing at the top of your arena. Yeah. I think, yeah. I have some other things to talk about. Some little points, some things about arena etiquette. Should we talk about that first?
Yeah, sure. Hold on. Let me give me 1 second here. We are on. We jumped. Okay. I'm with you. All right, go ahead.
Should we take some questions? Like I loved that what you guys were just talking about. That was like awesome. Does anybody have questions?
Let me start from the top and see if I can find anything.
Sith Lord said, I got a mod with 111 offense on a 30 speed arrow, any good? And I responded with, I will trade you 3 30 speed arrows of any set for that arrow. That mod is quite possibly the best arrow mod you probably have. That I would love to have that mod.
We'll skip that one.
In connection to that, I was talking to a player and he wasn't rolling his speed arrows. Roll all your speed arrows. You need to have speed arrows on pretty much every toon in your roster, except those that you maybe want a protection arrow on or an offense arrow or something like that. But don't. Since when do we take questions? I know, right? But yeah, you roll every white speed arrow. Keep your triangles, like maybe not health triangle that's white, but certainly your crit damage triangles that are white. Keep those. Keep a few offense ones in the bank if you need to roll them for somebody. But
that's a very, very important point that you're talking about, though. The white mods, like even when you're very first starting and you're like, oh, I've got this mod, it completes my set, but it's a clear like a white mod. Just save your credits. Do not level that mod. You might get a little slow out of the gates in arena because guys have these mods. But in the end, if you wait until you get quality, at least some blue mods, and you rank those up, you're going to benefit and you're going to rush ahead of all these people. If you're on like a newer shard and everyone's just leveling up every mod they buy, that's something I did when mods came out. Mods came out, and I still to this day have just tons of health set mods sitting on my inventory at level 15. They're just junked because I leveled them up in a hurry trying to field, sets on every team. You just be patient. You will get the mods that are better. Because I've got a whole inventory of health mods and like just sitting there with like 1% tenacity, 20 offense, 3 speed, and like 200 health. Those are shitty mods at the end game. Like I don't even really have characters to put them on. They're shitty. Those aren't good mods. Just wait and get good quality mods, especially now with all these characters that you're required to have for the TBs, the TWs. There's a new raid coming out. There's 2 other existing raids. You need tons of characters. You don't want to waste credits on mods that are just going to be worthless in 3, 4, 5, 6 months from now. Like
it's the limiting factor. Like credits are the limiting factor, whether you spend money in the game or you are free to play. Credits are incredibly limiting, and and I don't know, like you need to be spending. I spent in the last 3 days, I think I've spent about 25 million credits on mods, just like
Damn.
farming. I'm like, yay, I've got some speed secondaries. I've got some, I'm going to try and raise some of these ones with offense. Because I have probably about a third of my characters, even like, Gear 9 characters that would be totally usable in territory wars that still don't have mods on them. I just don't have enough.
Well, those purple and gold mods, that you get in like, even if they don't have speed, just save them. There might be a time that comes out, like Sith Trooper, for instance. We're in the middle of a Sith meta, and people are really starting to toss Sith Trooper back in there. He's slow as shit. Kanan is another good example. They're slow as shit. Speeding them up is still going to have them slow as shit. So you might as well maximize what they have, and that's defense and survivability. And, like those mods that you have in purple, they have like flat health, flat protection, flat defense. You might not need them now, but there might be a time in the future where you do. So just save the purple and the gold mods. You never know what characters are coming out, where the meta goes. Don't get all pissy if you don't get one with speed. You did get a purple and gold mod. Like those are good mods to have. I think gold mods are like 2 to 5% drop rate. Purple might be 10% tops. In terms of drop rates out of the mod challenges. So you don't just want to look at them and delete them, unless it's just like defense percentage, health percentage, tenacity percentage, like offense percentage. That's a bullshit mod. That's like the worst mod you could ever possibly get. But like percentages are not good. Offense percentage, defense percentage, health percentage, protection percentage is okay, but it's still not desirable. Any percentage based stat is inferior to those of the flat base stats at this point in the game.
An example of that is me, like, when you first start farming mods, what are you farming? You're farming health, right? And so I don't know, like, God knows how many health mods without speed I just chucked out. I don't know how many gold. I don't think I really understood them back when I was, first getting mods. So, just chuck them all out, if they didn't have secondary speed on them. And then Night Sisters, right? So then I'm like, God damn it. So I'm back to farming mods and, would love to have mods with, great offense or potency, or I know you don't believe in potency, GoodOl'Maurice, but I like potency on my girls. And yeah, so it's a good example of, keep your purples and your golds for sure. The beach fuzz.
My bad. Okay. You can start talking about mods, and I just dominated the chat. I apologize.
No, it's awesome. My kids.
We're feeding bomb ass information, so it's good.
It's awesome. Question: where's Bob? Bob.
God damn it, Bob! We can't even make it 30 minutes tonight. We couldn't even ask you about the story.
The chick in the hat, Bob. Remember that? Where he fell?
This one time in Nashville.
Oh, I'm just opening my booze. Does that count as a full shot?
Yeah, it sure does.
There he is. Bobby.
What's going on?
Nothing much. I feel like asking you where you met your wife, but is that a weird question for me to ask?
Man, I met her through work.
Through work? Like, because you're a pimp?
No.
She's a pimp?
I mean, I am, but she ain't so.
Why does T-Money sound so funny? I'm sorry, my sound isn't working. Some update happened or something. Okay, so somebody wants us to look over their account. You know what, dude? Join the Discord server, click below, and we'll give you some personal attention. We're not gonna do that on the stream. We've got too much to cover, and it's a matter of moments before we're too drunk.
It's quickly.
This is not the live stream to do a live roster review. We'll do that during the normal daytime.
Yeah, just tag me. Getting questions. If you want to have your questions answered by one of the 4 folks on the panel tonight, just go in and type @OG, and one of us our names, and one of us will come running because we're keeners and really lame. Okay, so we have just bullshit questions in the chat. Are the Calgary Flames any good? Well, the Calgary Flames, Seattle might get the Calgary Flames, so DSP might as well come and see them anyway. Find your sharks.
Go Sharks.
I live in South Carolina. I don't even know what the hell you guys are talking about.
When do we? Okay, I've been asking questions all night. Reaper has questions. Reaper, that's blah blah blah. Reaper is a 9.95% protection mod is fucking amazing, Reaper. Give your head a shake. What the hell? Don't ask questions like that. Is there a massive lag in the game today? You're just gonna answer the question in chat. What breed of dog goes best with chunky peanut butter? You guys are fucking assholes. Bay's a vegetarian.
Yeah, I skipped a few of those.
I mean, they're funny, but all right, that's enough. Reaper, ask your question again. I've gone all the way as far back, so it'll let us go. Like the stream, 58 people watching. I know I've got about 20 tabs open just to inflate that number, so I can't like them all there, but you guys go ahead and like our stream and subscribe for fuck's sakes and share it. And come on our Discord. It's really nice there, except when people share. I won't go there. Okay, so is it okay if I just run down this list really quick and you guys can add anything?
Sure.
Pick below if you agree. Okay, I think this is just something that I don't think these are points. Okay, so I'm going to go and I'm going to talk quickly. I'm just going to go down this list. So if you're first in arena or if you're 50th and you're trying to get over that little hump, don't sit in first. Let yourself get kicked out of first and sit in second, third, or fourth every day. Works particularly well for the ship shards if you have a nice, powerful team. If you're getting up to 50, you're getting up to 100, you don't want to sit right. You don't want to get 99 because who's going to get knocked back hella? You are. You want to get up to like the 80s and the 70s so that right in the 60s, that's a sweet spot. You can sit in there for days and not do a bloody battle, right? Because everyone's just trying to get over that hump, trying to get those extra rewards. So you're going to save yourself a lot of crystals if you're not just getting right over the hump and into that area. Do a refresh and climb up. I do multiple refreshes a day. You know, I usually don't fall below 15. But I'll refresh. I'll kick people out who aren't in our shard chat. I'll practice on like weird teams. It's like I spend a lot of time in arena. So just do the refresh. It's not the end of the world, especially if you're gonna be able to climb between levels. So if you can get up from if you can get up from 45 to what? That doesn't make any sense. Yeah, 45. Or from 55 to 45, that's an extra 50 crystals. Refresh to do that. Like, of course, you're going to refresh. You're not going to fall back down as far the next day. Maybe you'll get to climb even further the next day. One of the ways that we've helped people in the wolf pack go up is I just say, you know, you got to do 50 refresh every single day for the next couple of weeks. And all of a sudden, they move from like 200 and then they're in the top 20 because there's nothing wrong with their team. They're
Yay,
just
bucket
like
head.
fluffing around doing like two their minimum 2, right?
How long did it take us to get Buckethead into the top 10?
I didn't have much to do with that. It just kind of was there. I don't know how that happened. I'm not sure. We have I think we have well over half the guild in the top 10. We do kick for arena. You know, we'll work with people, but it's over months. You know, if they're down in like the 80s, the 70s for months, and we're asking them to do things, move their mods around, change their team comps. You know, suggesting tunes to farm and different comps, and it's just not happening. They just don't want to play arena, and that's fine. But we do use it to recruit people, and the higher we get, the easier it is to kind of show people, yes, we're an active guild. So You know, it was not a popular thing. I put it in long ago and everyone hated it. It's starting to get more popular now because they see the importance of territory wars. Told you so, fuckers!
And to answer Darth Hideous, we do know the way. We will show you the way. Since you're trying to meme up here.
So what I would like is if somebody has an arena team that they want us to review, maybe somebody who's in, you know, like not the top 20, maybe 50, 75, not 100, send along your SWGOH link. You have to have one in order to play along with this game. I'm not opening my freaking game. Get an account. You need that if you're a serious player. If you're listening to this, you're a serious player. I don't know. I guess that's all I wanted to say about that. Oh, there's a couple of things. There's some tools. You can get a bot for your Discord channel where you can see if I'm at, 21, what's the shortest distance up to first, that sort of thing. Yeah. Should we talk about arena shards?
Yeah, definitely. I think like shard chats and how to reach out to your shard mates that you're talking about.
Yeah. So
well, there's go ahead. I'm sorry.
Let me just give the very basics that I'm surprised that everybody knows. So there's arena shards. They're based on when you joined. So everybody in your arena joined within a few weeks of each other in the game. A few weeks. I don't think it's more than a month, sort of thing. So you're all playing at about the same time frame, theoretically about the same level if you've been playing every day. There's payouts. So you will have your payout at 6 p.m. usually, your time. If somebody's in Europe, it's 6 p.m. their time. If someone's in Hawaii, it's 6 p.m. their time. It's all different. Sometimes you'll have multiple payouts within an arena shard at the same time. So you'll have a whole bunch of people living in the EST in the US, or you'll have a bunch of folks in PST in the US, and so their payouts are all at the same time. We have one payout in our shard, which is it's like the Dutch UK payout, and or maybe it's like Dutch Germany. I don't know. It's like right in Europe there, and there's like 6 or 7 people in the top 50 in that payout. It's a pain in the butt. What you can do to steal more crystals from EA, to take from them and support all your little homies on your arena, is to get an arena shard. So you have to find these people, and it's quite easy, especially if you're a player with over maybe like 1.5 million galactic power. You should definitely have an arena chat. If you're around 1 million, you might have a little more trouble finding players. Because they're just getting their accounts, they're just getting Discord, that sort of thing. So basically what you do is you go down the list of everyone who's near you. Usually you do it just for the top 20, but you can do it around 50 if you're seeing the same people every day. And you go into swgoh.gg and you look up their guild. You find them, you see if there's any contact information there. If there is, great, contact them. If not, you're going through every single person in their guild to see if they offer up any Discord IDs or line IDs. You're typing their name into Discord. You're typing their name into line. You're typing their guildmates' names into line. You really have to sometimes hit the pavement. It's taken me. There's 2 players who are now in the wolf pack who took me like months and months to find. I would just like be like, I wonder if if Kinski's around now, if he's actually got a Discord or a line or something, and so I'd try and eventually found him on email.
If you are desperate, I also recommend the major Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes Facebook page, and also check the Galaxy of Heroes subreddit. They do have a link on their subreddit that goes directly to looking for shard mates or fleet shard mates, and a lot of people post their anniversary start date, or at least when they know they started arena, and you can end up finding them in there if you're lucky. I
Maybe
found Junior's shard mates through that.
we can maybe post some links later. And then the big one too is there's a Discord group called Make SWGOH Great Again, and it's for you can appoint 2 people. Usually it's a leader and an appointed officer to be part of that, and then there's probably hundreds, if not, I don't know if they're getting close to 1,000 or over 1,000 by now, guilds listed in there. So you can go in and just type like @ and then start writing Wolfpack. And then my name will come up, and then you can just tag me and say, oh yeah, we have this person's in my shard, and there's tons and tons of guilds on there, so you can just go directly to their leader or to one of their officers, and find them that way.
If you're lost, they will show you the way.
Right, but let's before we, I mean, that's all. That's fantastic information, but you have to realize, like, you have to have a competitive team. You can't just have some bullshit team. The only reason you're reaching out to your shardsman is that you can't beat them. Like you have to have a competitive team. And if you're rising in the ranks and you see your defense not falling too far, you're probably ready to join. Because if you're on a really old arena shard, it's extremely difficult to get into one because there's already one that exists, right? And the payouts are probably full, so you have to have like a competitive team, kind of like a team that's like annoying and people are tired of facing every day. Or let's say you're just like a real pain in the ass. You're constantly picking people and they have to hit you back, just really slowing them down. Like you have to be. I'm trying to put this in like a
this is what I tell people. If you're at 1 million GP, go find your shard chat. If you're like at 2 million and you haven't found it and you're breaking into the top 10 all the time, this is what I tell people. They're like, they won't let me in. I'm like, okay, this is what you do. You take a budget of 1,000 crystals and you spend a week and you annoy them and you annoy them and you annoy them and you snipe them and you snipe them and you snipe them and you snipe them. And they're just like, okay, I'm spending more crystals than I'm going to lose. Giving you second every day or sharing first with you every second day. And like, it's people call it the mafia because it is. It's like, it's a closed little group and they don't want to let you in until you piss them off. If you're sitting in 40th and you ask to be in an arena shard chat, they're going to say no because there's really no point. They're not discussing theories. Like, come to the nerf herders if you want to learn. If you want to coordinate getting to first every day, then you call your arena. And you shouldn't be talking to them if you haven't been able to get into the top 10 for, I think, like a month or more.
Well, and there's if you're not in an arena shard, there are telltale signs that the arena shard exists. Like if you're in first place, right, and you cut your phone off for a second and go take a piss and come back and you're in 9th place, there is an arena shard that exists. Like you are just not part of it. And like but what happens is the longer,
like Darth Bob, Darth Susie, Darth Cheetos one day, and then Darth Cheetos, Darth Bob, Darth Susie the next day, and then Darth Susie. If they're flipping around for first, there's definitely an arena shard chat there.
And something to carry on just from what Maurice was talking about. You got to be competitive. One thing that a lot of people assume, oh, I'm in this arena shard now, I can get top 5 payout. I repeat, do not ask anyone in that shard to move mods or change their team, or you will either get kicked from my shard chat, you will get trolled out, or you just, gonna get laughed at, because the whole point of this is to coordinate payouts, make sure you're not bumping the wrong person and trying to have somewhat of an alliance. This is not carry your ass to first. This is all of us can beat each other normally without issues, or if we can't beat them, we compliment them. And guess what? Since we are top payout competitors, damn it, we're going to probably spend 200 crystals figuring out how. But this isn't carry you an arena shard when you join. This is just coordination and maybe some lockout help during your payout. Period.
I wholeheartedly disagree.
Really well said. Sure.
I wholeheartedly disagree.
No, absolutely not. If you cannot beat my team that I have in arena, you have absolutely no business being in a rotation with me. Period.
So in your arena chat, do you, like, for instance, I have, mostly because I'm a moron and I'm highly competitive, and when someone pisses me off, I go a little bit nuts. I stay up. I was staying up until 3 a.m. to stop this guy from sniping, my shard buddies, right? Or I'll get there early, like my payout's at 5 o'clock my time. I'll get there at like 3:30 my time, and I'll hold down a sniper below my shard mate so they can't climb up. And I'll spend, like, sometimes just because they're like sniping, and like I have some of my guildmates on there and they're sniping my guildmates, so I'm spending like 100, 200 crystals just to hold this guy back to be like, enough.
Well, there's this guy. I don't know if
I get
Smoke
to the top
joined in.
and I can't beat a team, then yeah, I'm gonna ask somebody to take their speed arrows off for me, because I've been contributing to that little community as well.
Fuck taking speed arrows off. But we will do exactly
the meta. Like there's people have done that for me, and
a lot of us will definitely do the first part you asked. And Smoke's in chat right now. There's a couple guys on our stream or our shard, Capo, Felbraz, Cobra, handful, even a good old Instinct Limber Limkey. We will gladly knock their ass down, not during our payout time, just to keep them out of someone else's hair, because they are a pain in the ass for us. Therefore, you don't need to be a pain in the ass for anybody, and you can go sit and spend money to get back where you are, because screw you.
Do you show up to help somebody who's been sniped?
Oh, yeah. We'll help, but by no means am I going to dismantle or change my team or move mods off because they can't beat it, because fuck that. That's not what we're here about.
That's ridiculous. It's like tit for tat. It's like, I'm helping you out doing this, so let me get an extra 100 crystals because I can't figure out how to beat your like amazing Emperor Palpatine team with my Night Sisters, and I don't have time to figure that out, in the next 5 days.
What you're trying to tell the viewers is to be extremely lazy. Like, just be lazy and not have a appropriate arena team.
GoodOl'Maurice, do you think that I'm lazy with this?
No, I don't think you're lazy, but I think
I'm not fucking lazy.
If somebody is a payout behind me and says, "Hey, do you mind taking off your mods?" Yeah. Why don't you just have a better arena team? You're going for first place. Like, I'm not trying to be.
What I could do? I could take those crystals and I could take the time that I'm spending holding back someone from sniping my shard mate from 1 to 5th and him losing 300 crystals, and I could go and fuck off and do my own thing and plan my mods, but I'm there with them, helping them, and and it's tit for tat. Like, it's fun. Like, I love doing that. I
guess if you have a personal agreement with a friend, if you have a personal agreement with a friend where, hey, I'm gonna help you keep from getting sniped. If you can't beat me, I'll take off a mod. I could manage that just as a personal friend. But if it's just another guy in the shard chat say his payout's 3 hours beforehand, he can't climb over you and ask you to take off mods, and you don't do shit for him, no, it ain't flying.
Well, no, you can definitely be helpful. Like, if you want to stay up at 3 o'clock in the morning to earn your stripes, then so be it. It might be worth it in the long run. Or what you can do is, like, if you're searching for your shard mates, let's say you're on a really old shard and you just got excluded. Because what happens on these arena shards is there's 4 or 5 guys in the payout, and if you're not on the shard, you're an enemy, right? Everyone like talks shit about you on the shard, like, oh, fucking, DJ Blue 69 420 is trying to snipe me again. So everybody teams up against you, and you might be the nicest person on the planet, but because you're not on that arena shard, everyone just assumes you're a massive asshole with like bitch tits and like drool coming down your face. Like, everybody hates you on the arena shard. But like it might not be the case. What you can do is, the resources. Like, you go on like Teals mentioned all the resources earlier. You can go on there, go on these links, go on these forums, post, and be like, I can't really beat your guys' teams. I'm constantly up there. I'm perfectly capable. I'm perfectly happy with taking 4th place consistently every day. And what that will do is you're not really going to interfere with them. At the same time, they won't fuck with you on the way up. Like, they won't hit you. They'll kind of bounce around you and avoid you. And you can take 4th place every single day with not much effort. You don't have to refresh. You won't have to like just worry about somebody sniping you, and that could be an option if you're on a really, really old server.
Yeah, just out of respect, it's like, hey, instead of bouncing off of me every day, getting to first, can let me sit in fourth or let me sit in fifth, relay off somebody else, just so we don't have to play the back and forth.
And yeah, exactly. That works for both parties. Like if you're consistently getting 8th to 10th place, and if you work out a deal with them, you could consistently get 4th place. Well, you're not going to be getting first, but I mean that you're going to generate what 100, 150 extra crystals every single day, and you don't have to worry about hitting somebody, them hitting you right back. You guys just jump around each other, and you just take 4th, 5th place every day, and it's hassle free. And, I'm sitting here. I'm to contradict myself, like. I do not like arena shard chats, but they are very useful because once you play the game for so long, it just gets really time consuming and annoying to sit there and have to monitor your phone for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, whatever time zone you're in straight to make sure that you get where you need to be. Like if you're on an arena shard, it does make it very easy. It does make you kind of lazy, but it does make it easy and you don't spend as much time in the game because Lord knows we spend enough time in this fucking game with all these game modes right now. So it is nice to be a part of in terms of time management in game.
And I think one thing that I've kind of just accepted is that there are aspects to this game that we don't really think of as part of the game, but they are very much part of the game. So you can look at arena chat and be like, that's bullshit. People shouldn't be doing that. People should be just competing and it should be just like this free for all. But is that like, there's no rule around that within the game. Like that's not part of the framework of the game that we're not allowed to do that. So why wouldn't we? Like it's like saying that, it's like the strategy for I don't know, like it's kind of cool, but go ahead, Bob.
No, there's no rule against it, you're right. You get my top 20 shard, you're getting kicked right the fuck back out, so it doesn't matter.
Well, that's another thing. Like, like my arena shard, great, huge group of just a huge, great group of guys. Everyone works together, and everyone's understanding. But my ship shard, I think I irritate people all the time because there are people on the West Coast that have 3 hours behind me in a payout, and because I'm in the East Coast, right? So I have 5 people in my payout rotation. There's a guy 3 hours behind me, and I hit that person because he's the only one to hit. He had a temper tantrum. He had a temper tantrum. How dare you hit me? That's what this arena shard's all about. Like, yeah, dude, it is. But like, you're 3 hours behind me, and I'm trying to climb. He's like, well, I need notification. So like, that's kind of on me. And I learned, I did feel kind of like an asshole. But like, some arena shards are a little touchier than others. So just like, if you do join arena shard, especially if you're new, make damn sure that you understand how it kind of flows. Because my arena shard and my ship shard operate completely differently. And I'm in there pissing people off of my ship shard all the time. It's completely on accident. I'm not doing it. If anybody in my ship shard is listening, I'm not doing it to be a dick. It's just kind of, the ship shard kind of developed when the crystals came out. So it's a newer shard. And I guess that was my fault. I just assumed it was like my arena shard. Just don't hit the guy an hour or two behind you. But so just make sure you understand the rules and really, really make sure, especially if you're new, like if you see somebody that's in your way and you want to hit them, go on your arena shard. Make sure that if their name's not on the Discord list, you're good. He's a quote enemy. A good arena shard chat will have everybody's payout schedule. Some of them have a bot like where you can actually Z Shang, a guy from Dark Lords, kind of manages ours. Great guy. There's a bot on there that's like you can just hit quotation mark something payout. It'll show you the payout schedule for the next 6-7 hours.
Is it a Jedi Starbot?
I think so. Yeah.
Captain Blackbeard just did that for us. It's so great because it's when it grows, sometimes you can't remember everybody's name, and like Darth Cheese was your mortal enemy 3 weeks ago, and now you're like, was it Darth Cheese or Darth Chuck who just got into our chat? So you gotta make sure that that's hard. The more it grows, the reason that people don't want it to grow too big is because it's too difficult to manage, because you have 15, 20 people and everyone's fussy about being hit before their payout, right? So it's, so what does that mean? Like I've had people like freak the hell out at me because I hit them like 18 hours before their payout because it was like an hour after mine, they're like, like really, so, people are really fussy about it. And one thing too that It's just kind of the way, and I feel a little bit guilty about this, but I do believe in it, is that, if you're climbing up, if you're new, if you're riding a meta, and there's folks who have been there for a really long time and their teams are hard to beat, and the fact of the matter is they're going to be sniping you out of first anyway, and they're offering you second, and you're going to be getting fifth if they're having to compete with you. There's not all shard chats cycle to first, is what I'm trying to say. Some of them have like the first 3 cycle, and then there's a 4th and a 5th and a 6th, or the first 2 cycle, or just the first person takes first and the second person takes second, and that's just the way it is. That's the way that they're managing it. You kind of got to think of how many crystals you're losing by not cooperating, and it is like the Mafia that way. It is kind of the most asshole kind of aspect of the game, in my opinion. Whenever I think about it too much, I feel like a jerk.
So after listening to all this bullshit here, I want to say I totally disagree with fucking arena chats. It's a bunch of bullshit.
Why, Bob?
Yeah. A bunch of bullshit. You know how many members of my guild that people like want them to be on their fucking chat, and they're like, nah, fuck you. Why would I want to do that? That's totally out of my fucking time. Go fuck yourself.
Because Bob's a
And
gangster.
then here's the best part. People call my whole guild out about that. It's like, nah, fuck you. Go figure it out.
People, you're known for not being in arena shards. That's pretty badass, Bob.
No, here's the thing. I don't care. I actually tell people, and I actually hook people up. Try to find people for my guild members. But if they don't want to, fuck the rest of the people. I don't give a shit.
Okay, well, this is a good transition into how to snipe if you're not included in the rated chat.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, but no, Bob does make a good point.
Sniper.
But what should they get?
Consider themselves a master
Why should
sniper?
my guys snipe these motherfuckers? Fuck them.
Okay, let's say that you're not allowed, like your arena shards, like, no, we already have, because there is an ideal amount of people per payout. It's 4. So let's say you're the 5th person trying to get an arena payout. You're like, well, I'd like to join your arena shard, and they're like, no. So what do? You got to get yours. So you got to be strategic in how you do your arena battles, in terms of like the time and how to snipe people, when it's beneficial to possibly refresh your battles, to refresh your like cooldown timer. There are certain instances where it's worth the 50 crystals to refresh your battles. Because like the difference from 5th to first place is what? 250 crystals?
250.
So in 5th place, I think there's just a certain, she mentioned it earlier about the bot that kind of tells you how high you can climb. So you want to, strategize what position you're in at what certain point in the arena. If you can get to 5th place with about 10, like, let's say 11 and a half minutes left, what you can do from 5th place is you get yourself in position to take 5th. You jump to 5th, you let your cooldown, and then you take 1st. And what you do after you take 1st is you refresh your match real quick and hit the son of a bitch again so he can't hit you back. And you take 1st place. Yes, you spent 50 crystals cooling down your arena, but he's going to just hit you right back anyway. So basically, you earned 150 crystals. You gained 150 crystals from spending 50. That's just like one example. I just pulled out of my ass here, but
well, I'm gonna make it a little more. I'm gonna give you an advanced lesson on how to snipe.
Oh, in my face, in my fucking vanilla ass. All right.
So, I mean, part of the fun of arena for me is getting to 1st. And I've been in an arena shard chat and have had people snipe me, so I've had to snipe them back. And there's, once you get up there and once you've been sniping for a while, you just set your clock and you're looking at 5 minutes. And because, like GoodOl'Maurice says, people will lock each other in for 5 minutes at the top of the arena chat. And then they'll have to switch. So, the player in 1st and the player in 2nd. Player in 1st will play the player in 2nd. They'll let the timer cool down to 0, and then they'll tell them in Discord, okay, it's going 10, 9, 8, and then they'll switch, and this player in second will grab the player in first and try and hold them in. So if you're going up and against an arena shard chat with 4 players at the top, you're going to have to be really, really, really on it in order to snag one of them, because they're locking each other in is what they're doing. It's nearly impossible. So this is what I do. If you're sitting, say you're sitting in 5th, then you basically have about like 3 to 4 seconds to get that person in first and lock on to them. So you're, say you climb up, say it's like 12 minutes before or something like that, and you're just refreshing and hitting battle, and it says this person's in the battle, and you're hitting battle, and the person's in the battle, and you're hitting battle, and you do that like a compulsive idiot for as long as it takes until you grab them. And once you grab them, you do not let them go. And you can do one of 2 things. If it's more than 10 minutes before and you have them...
Never let go, Jack. Never let go.
Never let go. Once you grab them and they're in first, they will see you go to first, and they will grab you back, right? So they're just waiting there, and they're refreshing, because they know that their person in second saying, I don't got you, like number 5's got you. And so they're refreshing, and the moment they get switched to 5th and you to first, they're going to grab you. And it takes longer for the game to say victory and for it to refresh and go back to the game than it does to retreat. So what you do is not at 5 minutes, because they're going to know that you got them right at 5 minutes, so they're going to be watching their timer, but at like 2 minutes, 4 minutes, got to keep them guessing, you retreat from the battle and you grab them again right away. And then you refresh and you grab them again right away. And so you don't win, you just retreat from the battle, and then the second time you grab them and you take first, and you just need to leave it. So you kind of need to know how long it takes for them to beat you. You know, if they're Night Sisters against Ray and it's taking them like a minute to beat you or something like that, you have to leave, you know, less than a minute. If it's taking them a couple of minutes to beat you, then you leave a couple of minutes and you just, you know, you pray that they don't get you back. But there you go.
Well, in terms of refreshing your battles and your cooldown timer, any time that you're going to break even on crystals, it's worth it. You'll make a little more arena currency, but what's more important is you're facing a higher tier team and you're getting experience. We talked about mechanics earlier, and like if you're in, let's say, you know, 9th place, but you need to refresh your battles to get 5th place, you should do that 100% of the time. You might not gain any crystals, but you will gain a little bit of arena currency, like a fraction of a percent of credits, but you will be facing better teams, and if you can beat that team, you're getting better at the game. And now we have these TWs, so the better arena player you are, the more attractive you are. Like the Wolfpack's a perfect example. They really, when they're looking for recruits, they really focus on the arena rank. So I mean, if you can get, you know, there's a big difference if a guild's looking at you to consider bringing you in if your arena rank is 9th because you run out of matches, just refuse to refresh, or if your arena rank is 5th every day, you know. So I mean, the experience you gain from playing the higher teams, as long as you break even on the crystals, it's worth it every time. Even if it came with nothing else, like even if you got nothing else except experience, I think it's worth it to refresh.
And fun. I mean, we wouldn't judge between like a 9 and a 5, but
Well,
certainly between a 60 and a 60 and a 40, or a 40 and a 20, like there's definitely a difference there. Whatever the difference may be, it could be mods, it could be team comp, it could be time that you have to play the game. You know,
well, East Coast payout is a perfect example, because generally, at least on both the shards I'm in, there's nobody in front of you from like the last, European reset to our reset. Like on both my arena and ship shard, it's just wide open.
You might have one Brazilian.
Yes, exactly. I have one Brazilian, I think, on my ship shard, but that's one person to dodge. You got 3 hours to climb, so you can totally get from 50 into the top 20 with a refresh. That's 10 battles. You can get there. It's worth the refresh. For nothing else, just to play the game and have fun and get better at the game. Because you get 5 full battles out of it. I mean, that's a pretty good deal. 50 crystals for a little bit of experience every single day. Because that's what it's all about. Arena now is what Arena is now is just basically like a training grounds for TW. Like the guilds that really focus on TW, the more arena battles you play, the better you're going to be for your guild. If you're in the 50s ish range, I would advise maybe refreshing every day to get to the top 20. You might not gain any crystals, but you get to play the game and you get to fight the weird teams. Fight the teams that you can't beat. If you have a couple games to waste, get in there with some just experiment. I experiment every day and embarrass myself constantly in the arena trying to throw in teams. Like I think right now I have a Thrawn lead in, and I fell from second place until I think I'm about 32nd now. So I probably need to open that up and play a couple games, change my team out. But
I'm just reading back chat here. Hey, Smoke. Yeah, just interesting. I'm glad that we have Think Steals for figuring out how to put that on the screens. There's just lots of interesting stuff to read there. People talking about. I just am enjoying people disagreeing with the two of you around moving mods.
Okay, well, see, my personal opinion gets in the way of what is perhaps useful information for the masses sometimes. Just because I think it's bullshit. I'm not taking my mods off. Like, if you can't beat me, get better. But at the same time, that's probably not a very good attitude for the vast majority of you, especially if you're new to Arena Shard Chat, But I don't know. It's just like I kind of agree with Bob. But at the same time, you play for so long that it is a very nice luxury to have. Like, it kind of takes the competitiveness out of it. Like, the arena the most competitive it gets when you're part of Arena Shard is like there's like one person that tries to mess with you, and then the 4 of you gang up on them. That's really the only excitement it is. It's just very vanilla. It's your day for first, my day for second, your day for third, your day for fourth, rotate. And you got no competition. Nobody's really standing in your way. And it kind of, I don't know.
There's so much to deal with in the game right now. I'm like, like when there's a sniper, like we just brought a sniper into our shard chat, and I'm just like, yay! I have an extra 30 minutes a day, Yeah, which is kind of funny because I've gotten like 2 terrible arena ranks because I haven't been helping out the guys before me. So instead of getting first, I've been getting the last 2 days that after we brought this guy in, I got 19th and 16th or something like that because I just forgot about the arena rank.
Okay, well that's a good point. Just if I can just randomly spout something, if you're in an arena chat, do try to be courteous. If you don't think you're going to make it that day, just drop in Discord or wherever you guys use arena chat. Just real quick, be like, hey guys, at EST payout or whatever you guys use. I'm not going to make it today. That way, if it's like your day to take second, that way the third place guy knows he can move up to second, and the fourth place guy knows he can move up to third, without getting in your way. So that just a nice courtesy thing to do. If you know for a fact you're not going to make it, I miss payouts, quite a bit. So I just message the guys, not here today, move up, and they do the same thing. So that's a nice courteous thing to do for your payout buddies.
You're a courteous thing to do for your payout buddies. I gave you the humping clone. That's what I did.
The humping clone?
Humping stormtrooper.
Dilly. All right, Darth Hideous says in the chat, we are 1 hour into the stream and the words are still making sense. What the fuck?
And with that lovely transition, we're going to move, unless somebody has something else burning to say about Arena Shard Chats. Find yours, make one, or not. Be like Bob. Bob's obviously cooler than any of us.
Bob's a motherfucking gangster.
Gangster. Bob's like, fuck y'all. Like, oh man, you're right. Fuck us. Okay, but we are going to go and start talking about teams to take down the meta. And I just realized I completely forgot to bring in a couple of screenshots that I made earlier. Let's see if it'll just allow me to dump these in. Boop-a-doo-boop. Not that one.
Well, anytime you're talking about dominating any meta, it goes back to what we kind of touched on earlier. Oh, shit. Okay. We're going to show this stuff.
Yeah, is that all right?
Oh, no, it's great. I'm going to stop, though, because what I was about to say doesn't really apply to this team, so I'm just going to be quiet. So this is
No, let's talk about that first. Because that kind of completes our sensible discussion of Arena, and then this is kind of going more into territory wars, in my opinion. These kind of new teams that people are theory crafting, but yeah. So one of the things we're going to talk about is missing metas. Like, eek, what do you do if you miss a meta? And how to anticipate metas. Is that what you were going to start talking about, GoodOl'Maurice?
Kind of. Let's do that. Let's do that.
No, go ahead.
No. Yes, that's basically what I would have taken a very long-winded approach to get to that. So let's just go for it.
Okay. So why don't you start talking about it?
Okay, well, as we've seen the last few months, we've seen the CLS meta die. We've seen the Ray meta come, and now it's dying off. We've seen the Night Sisters rise, and now we have the EP, right? The metas. This game is moving at a much faster pace than it did a year and a half, at launch. Like the game is moving very fast, which means that the metas are going to change more often. And unless you want to spend tens of thousands of dollars in this game, you simply cannot catch every meta. You have to miss metas. So you have to kind of shore up your roster to allow you a little flexibility to miss the meta. Like I remember months and months, it's probably been a year and a half, like the Maul meta, the Darth Maul Zeta lead meta. I was not a part. That's a meta I decided to skip. And now looking back, I'm very glad I did, because outside of Territory Wars, that character is kind of worthless. The metas you really have to look at, especially now that we have the Zetas in the game, like you really have to look at this and like, does this, will this last? And when you look at a character and you look at a rework or you look at a brand new character, and you have to, the number one thing you have to really look for is, does this character manipulate turn meter? What does it take turn meter away, or does it provide turn meter to the rest of my team? If the answer is a yes, that character, traditionally, as we've seen all the way up to this point of the game, turn meter manipulation wins this game, right? So if like the Palpatine meta that we're currently in, this is going to be a good investment because he manipulates turn meter with that Zeta. He's always going to be useful. He might fall out of arena use, but he's always going to be good for TW. He's always going to be very good for, especially for raids, because some of the raid mechanics doesn't allow you to remove turn meter, but like Rex and Palpatine, they give turn meter, so there's no raid boss that prevents turn meter gain, right? So I mean, there's certain things to look for and certain little abilities and whatnot that kind of make a character almost meta-proof. Like Rex, as we're seeing now, is a meta-proof character. Like he comes up in the meta, he's at the top, and he fades away. The meta shifts and Rex rises again. Like I mean, that was the people that bought Rex out of those Erodiums like a year and a half ago. That might have been the best character of all time to buy in this game. Like they got a long time, a lot of use out of that character before he became farmable. Characters like Rose Tico, I don't really think are worth the investment. Maybe I'm wrong. There's just certain characters, and the longer you play the game, the more keen you'll be on spotting certain things.
I think it's related to the to canon as well, and to the Star Wars universe. This is something that I think I'd say probably every stream, and people are getting bored of. But George Lucas at the last Celebration, he spoke about Rex and talked about him as being timeless, and about him never. He's one of those characters that will always be like an integral part of the Star Wars universe. And what do we see in the game? We see him as a lasting character for us. in the game. Whereas I think that they think about a lot of things like that. Like, what's the longevity of CLS? CLS is going to stay forever. OG Han is going to stay forever. Rey is going to stay forever. A character like Rose, even like Rogue One, they came up and then they faded away, and they're still really useful, right? But they're not front and center like like the beloved characters within canon, like the most important characters within canon are. I don't know if I'm dumb in saying that, but I love to think about that. And Rex is definitely one of those. He's timeless. The tenacity up, his that's really all he's got. Right? A little bit of turn meter reduction and the tenacity up. That no damage, no nothing. He's cute, right? A little shaved head and blonde hair, but that's about all he's got to offer.
I like how you just included his hairline and the color of his hair. But what's unique about Rex is he's never gotten a rework. He is exactly as he was when he came brand new, out of the Erodium packs. He nothing has changed about it. They haven't reworked him at all. He's just completely the same character. That's a character they did. That's a character they released. A lot of those Erodium pack characters, well, a lot. Two of them, B2 and Rex, were just phenomenal. They were meta shifting. Long ago, before CLS came out, there was an old saying that said, if you can't beat a team, sub in B2 and try again. That was the arena motto of the community I was in. If you can't beat a team,
still kind of works.
It still kind of does, and you see it now, especially versus Ray teams in TW, when you've used your A teams and you're really getting down to brass tacks, and you're like, well, just scrape at the bottom of the barrel. I got B2 here, and just put in 4 other characters, and what do you know? B2 dispels all the junk. Puts Buff Beauty up. No more BB-8 poop emojis everywhere. He's just. Yeah. We're talking about Arena. You should have B2. You should have
B2. I want B2 so bad. I'm just.
You had B2.
Meta teams I have him at gear 8 now. I want him. Perfect. I want him decked out. I would love to have a decked out B2 to go in a Ray squad or to go with an Empire team, or I don't know. I love that tune. I know that it's very RNG dependent, but so am I.
Ooh, sassy.
Your Emma was telling me to check Skype chat. Bob just left. Take 2 shots, fucktards. Says Bob on his way out.
Bob's still here.
No,
he's still here.
Skype chat.
He's just not in the call.
Take 2 shots, fucktards.
Ugh. Gross. I need pop.
Pop? What the fuck is that?
Pop.
That's what the Northerners and weird snowflakes call for soda.
Soda pop.
Hey, can I ask you a question? It's gonna be a dumb question. It's totally irrelevant to what we're talking about. In Canada, do you guys have Northerners and Southerners?
No.
So there's
not
the
French and the non-French.
Across Middle Canada.
We have West and East. If you live north in Canada, you're kind of like a celebrity because we're already north. Where I live is already north. It's it was -20 this week. It's north. So if you live north of me by another 2,000 kilometers, you're it's wow, you live in
that sounds like how are you alive?
Yeah.
Sounds like that person has extremely chapped lips.
I have.
That's called seal fat. Keeps it moist.
I want to start playing some of our meta teams now, though, because this is what is super exciting. I'm gonna work really hard to comb the universe to get. I want to freaking buy you a new phone, GoodOl'Maurice. The fact that you can't take video right now is breaking my heart.
No, come the 28th. Come the 28th. We can. It's a cross. I can play on my Android tablet, so I can record to my little heart's content on my Android tablet. So I will be able to start providing some better fucking videos than what I've done the last few weeks. It's been awful. Like iOS screen recorder is a travesty. It's awful. I can't. I'm having massive amounts of problems with it. Maybe
I also just figured out how to record on Nox, so I can start getting that for you.
So I'm actually kind of excited. This will be the first time I can play my main account on an emulator. So like let's say in the future we start getting really snazzy and start screen sharing and shit like that. Like, I could actually like participate, like because I'm the only one of the four of us that has an iPhone. So this will be nice. I can actually it'll be very helpful for our stream here and have Android access. It can actually contribute some videos. But
yeah, and for another stream another day, I can actually show you how to put our shared screens into a window.
So I mean, I think like tonight we're in the middle of a TW. So it'd be kind of fun. Like if Teals and you are talking about a certain topic, I could hop in and do a battle, and then maybe Teals and I start jibber jabbering, and you hop in and do a battle, Team Money or Darth Bob. You know, it'd be cool. I'm actually looking forward to that. I'll actually have an Android with the rest of you guys.
Me too, and it's going to be like cross platform compatible. So I think that means like Grim has been helping me out with trying to figure out how to stream on a Mac, and so I think I'll be able to stream on a Mac from there. So exciting! I'm sorry, I was giggling at Grandmaster Wixel saying I'd eat that seal blubber all night, which I just have that image in my head.
Which, by the way, T, open up your game before Ships goes away completely, and toss in your Night Sisters when you get a chance. We got Ray.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Not too wasted.
I want to give a shout out to Zai. We just burned through a CLS zone in 45 minutes.
Wow, really?
Yeah, it's like a fucking record for us. And this is against a guild that has an average arena rank of 9th. So
wow. Who is it?
Who are you repping this week?
We're starting to run away with it, but they're a Russian guild called RH Old Republic. But they're Russian, so like any minute now they're just gonna like burn because they went bottom first. they tried to go bottom and like really stick it to us, and they still have 9 teams left to beat in the front zone of the bottom. So like I don't know. Hopefully it will backfire, but they're bound to make a huge push here any second because I guess Russia has how many time zones in it? Like I don't know, 40. So like it's a huge country. So they're I'm just sitting here watching it, waiting. They're coming. Good luck to the RH Old Republic. If any of you guys are listening and speak English, good luck.
Yeah, shout out to the guild that we're up against. So we were up against NSC.
2 TW ago.
2 TWs ago, and a couple of them have joined our Nerfers server. It's always fun. And this time we are up against Darth Star Vent Designers. And it's a very even match. I think they have quite concentrated rosters. A very good guild. Their average arena ranks like 15 to our 12. They have a little bit higher GP than us.
Those of you who like to watch the YouTubes, shout out to Wild Grunt. That is his home guild.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's cool.
Yes, that's Wild.
Wild Grunt's an OG boy. He was one of the very, very, very few YouTubers. Like a year and a half, almost 2 years ago.
He is straight up savage. I love his content.
Oh yeah,
he's very informative. Great guy. I'm enjoying playing against his guild.
Awesome. Yeah, they tried to trash talk us, and I said no.
I'll also shout out Bumra.
Like,
he's a shard mate in this guild, so that's fun.
Cool. They sent us like pictures of like dead wolves, saying like wolf pack after. I was like, sweetie, you don't want to come up against us for trash talk.
Search out members of Night's Watch on Discord and
ask them how that went for them. And one of my, I'm sorry, Night Watch. I know we have like Dr. Sheetsith saying how like lovely you are and everything, but like after like 100 misogynistic memes, I was kind of okay with tearing apart your arena teams and not. Anyway, let's not go there. Okay, I'm starting to get drunk. Okay, so let's start playing some of these cool teams. We're going to go into, give me a time check, somebody. Check the time in game. Fuck, it's getting late. So we're going to...
1 hour, 48 minutes, 6 seconds.
1 hour. Can you write that in Skype for me, please? I'm going to try. Come on, do it for me. Please, please, please. So, ROLO. Have you heard, people? This is so exciting. Looking at ROLO's kit and her leader ability, I think it is just so obvious that she is made as a counter for the Empire teams, very specifically for Empire teams. I don't know if you remember when that Tarkin video came out not too long ago, where it's Tarkin with Empire in Arena, and they're going against Barris, and Tarkin's just using his basic. It's like the most boring video for like 4 minutes and 30 seconds. He's just using his basic, and then all of a sudden he uses his special and just wipes everybody out in one go. It's just such a fantastic
Doesn't just
moment.
wipe, but does a full wipe.
A wipe of everyone. I felt like such an idiot that I did not think of that, because I love Tarkin. I just felt like a complete moron. I'm also feeling like a moron with this Leia leader ability. You know, she sucks. We all talk about how much she sucks, but hey, you know, let's take a look at her leader ability right now and break down how she's doing things like boop, boop, boop. Here.
What is she doing?
She's doing okay. So here, I posted the links to the videos. I didn't get permission from the guys to actually run the videos, so I'm not going to run them. But the posts are down below. I don't know. I didn't want to run their videos without getting their permission. I don't know. This is maybe just as asshole-like, but anyway, here's the speeds. You can see the speeds on both teams are pretty even. There's no god mods happening here, at least as far as speed is going, and you know, that's what it's looking like at the end. So Leia's ability, let me find this quickly in there's Legion. We have a little channel called Anti-Metaverse. I recommend this for if you're in like a cluster of guilds, so you can post all the teams that you're beating the meta with, that are like out of the ordinary in your chat. So Leia's leader ability is that rebel allies have 20% tenacity and 20% critical chance. Whenever a rebel ally takes damage from an Empire enemy, they have 50% chance to gain foresight for 2 turns. So I don't know if that's like every dot that's laid on a toon or just the attack itself. 50%
Who's fapping?
Oh my god, what is that noise?
It sounds like fapping.
That's definitely jerking off.
Jerking off? What are you jerking off with a belt? Like what is I like to slap my dick with a leather belt when I jerk off.
I don't know, maybe that's how I imagine, guys. So Empire enemies have 50% chance to gain foresight for 2 turns. The first time, this is the key, the first time each turn a rebel ally resists a detriment, that's like making me very verklempt right now. A rebel ally resists a detrimental effect or suffers a debuff, they gain 30% turn meter. So the first time they gain 30% turn meter. So think about that. Vader's out ahead. He does his AoE, and then immediately the Leia-led team is gaining 30% turn meter. So if they're, you know, they're catching up to Vader's speed immediately. So that's the key. Additionally, her unique is Leia has plus 10% offense and 40% tenacity. So she gets her 20% tenacity off her leadership plus the 40% tenacity off of her unique. The first time each turn Leia resists a detrimental effect or suffers a debuff, she gains 15% turn meter and gains 35% offense stacking until the end of her next turn. I don't that offense stacking, it seems completely boring to me, but whatever. Do you think so? I think it's just a completely random, boring thing they put in there. Like they didn't have anything left to say. 35% offense on your next turn, basically. Additionally, she's got buff immunity. So she inflicts buff immunity. So she can, put a stop to GK. She can put a stop to Shore. And then she gains, there's more turn meter gain. She gains 10% turn meter and additional 10% Leia gains 10% turn meter. An additional 10% turn meter if the target had full health, and an additional 10% turn meter if the target is Empire. So if she's using her basic, she's immediately gaining 10% turn meter just because, and then an additional 10% turn meter if they're full health and if they're Empire. So that's an extra 30%. So that first time that she gets a debuff on her, she's gaining 30% turn meter plus, no, is that right? Let's see here, we've got, so no, she's gaining 30% plus her unique gives her 15%. So that's 45% turn meter for that initial onslaught from Vader. And then the next time she goes, she's getting 30% if she's using her basic. She could also be, you're probably going to use her Rebel Barrage, which is an AoE that hopefully deals ability block to toons, which is extremely useful when you don't want your rebels to be stunned by old man Grey Dick Palpatine.
Old man Grey Dick.
Can you imagine
Old man Grey Dick down there drinking that George Dicklin Mountain Dew by the fire.
Yeah, it's kind of exciting. So folks are using this team. Go check out those videos and try and build it. I think they're quite low gear, these Leias. So it's not, it's not beyond our reach as players. Yeah. And then go ahead, GoodOl'Maurice, and then here's
this character is one of the few characters in the game that could possibly benefit from tenacity secondaries and tenacity sets. Like there are very, very few characters that benefit from tenacity in an arena or TW setting, and she might be one of them. If you happen to have like a lot of good tenacity sets, I mean they're pretty much garbage because they're tenacity sets. But in this scenario, under this leader ability, you can kind of stack all your tenacity sets onto your team, and they're actually going to be useful because you can, like, underneath this lead, especially with her passive and her lead, I think she gets like 60% base tenacity. That's a lot. You can really start competing with the potency versus tenacity game because that's something this game really kind of lacks. It's really difficult to compete with potency unless your name is CLS or Thrawn, or you run some like crazy Imperial Trooper team with Magna Trooper included. Like it's really difficult to make tenacity sets beneficial in an arena setting, and this is a way to do it. Like me personally, like I don't roll tenacity rarely ever in the mod challenge, but when I do, like for some reason it just drops like fantastic tenacity mods on me. And so this, I'm glad we're talking about this because I'm just like brainstorming in my head. I can actually put those to use and build a decent rebel team underneath this Leia lead. And let's not forget she's got buff immunity on her basic attack. That's phenomenal. like I use her just to kind of pick apart Rey. Like I can't beat a Rey team with her, but I can spread enough buff immunity around in days and stuff, and then just kind of kill a BB-8 and R2, and then kill off the team with another team. Like it's like I don't know. This is good stuff. I'm actually like brainstorming in my head. Sitting there talking.
Yeah, my best speed secondaries are on my tenacity crosses. Right?
Well,
I mean, can't resist. I'm like, oh, there's a 5, and it's like, oh crap, it's a 15. Like you can't throw that mod away. But then your primary is crap, so it's just basically this. It's like an empty mod. It's just like, it's just speed, pure speed.
Well, unless your tenacity cross has massive amounts of speed on it, there's really no reason you should use it whatsoever for any sort of arena game or TW.
Ever.
Like none of your TW characters should have a tenacity cross them unless it has like a lot of speed. Like tenacity cross
26.
yeah. Tenacity crosses are a crock of shit. You should not use them. Period. Like they're just a waste.
I know you're right about this.
Not even Rex deserves such a thing.
No. And you got that's the thing. I see people just stack tenacity on Rex. Like, I mean, that's a nice theory, but guess what, guys? It's not enough to stop potency. Like, it's like,
not with EP. Like EP is basically 100% potency. Forget about that.
Well, it doesn't matter. Every character is 100% potency. Every single character in the game is 100% potency. And then whatever additional potency you have just stacks onto the 100%. So I'm going to take my 45% tenacity against 180% potency Palpatine. You're going to lose 100%. Well, excuse me. You're going to lose 85% of the time because there is a natural like 15% like just block it thing in the game. Like, that you cannot overcome potency with tenacity unless you have somebody like this, like Leia, who we're talking about. Unless you have a Thrawn, when he's fractured somebody, he has 100% tenacity. CLS, when he doesn't have that little buff over his head, he's in defense mode, if you will. He has lots of tenacity. There are very, very few characters.
But then they don't have tenacity mods, right? Like that's just their ability. Like Thrawn's not going to benefit from more than 100% tenacity.
Sure he is, because any character in your inventory that has potency on it, they have 100% potency plus that. But now that's why you can still occasionally stun CLS. You can still occasionally stun or debuff Thrawn when he's in fracture mode. Because it's not quite enough to block it, but it's high enough to prevent it, 50+% of the time, 50 to 80% of the time, depending on who you're using. Like it's you can still debuff those characters on occasion. but I'm this is a really, really cool team. I like this a lot, actually. And until you just showed this, I hadn't even considered using her against Palpatine, but it totally makes sense. And this is a character we all have to have. Like whether you like the character or not, you have to have her for light side territory.
She's kind of like Newt in a way. Like I think Newt's a little bit more of a what's the word? Like he just doesn't do anything. Like she's got her basic, she's got her AoE. She's got abilities that actually do stuff. Unlike Newt, that's like, oh, he died, doesn't matter. You just need him for his leader ability. But there's Karakan in our cluster. He's one of the officers in Mos Eisley's irregulars, and he's been using her quite regularly with just a bunch of trash toons to take out Rey. And it's really, I think it's really RNG dependent. And I have to look into a little bit more, but I don't know if it's like if Leia's gaining turn meter at the same time the Empire team is gaining turn meter, so somebody's gaining it first, like somebody's gaining that big rush of turn meter first. I don't know if that's like what it is, but he says about 50% of the time he gives you EP teams with it. But he's putting like ROLO with like Scarif Rebel Pathfinder at gear 9 and Han at gear Stormtrooper Han at gear 9 and like Bistan, and like he's not pairing her with. In this, we see CLS and R2 and Han and Old Ben. Well, you need those characters in Territory Wars and other places. They belong on two different teams completely. You want CLS and Han together on one team, and you want R2 and Old Ben on either one or two different teams.
We're talking about arena. This is an arena battle, yes.
This is an arena battle, but for Territory Wars, I'm going to do some work this week to try and tease that out a little bit more, but to pair ROLO with a bunch of junk rebels, basically.
I have that.
Either to partially.
I was telling you I run 1-2 when the opportunity arises itself.
You run ROLO?
Yeah.
I have a pre-built team in my Territory Wars offensive tab that is it's ROLO lead with Wiggs, Hoth Rebel Soldier, and Bistan. Just like all my leftover fucking rebels. And it's not going to beat that team.
You're just not running it against Emperor Palpatine? You've just been running it somewhere else?
No, I'm running against Rey for all the buff immunity on her basic. I cannot stress enough how important that is. And what you do is you buff block certain characters and then you remove turn meter with Biston, and you eventually can take out a character with wigs. You're not going to beat the team, but you can beat one or two characters with it, and then you bring in like your trash. I don't want to say trash, but like dated characters like the droids. You can bring in maybe like a lesser, like a Jedi team of maybe Anakin, Ahsoka Tano, maybe like a non-Zeta Qui-Gon Lee. Like you can bring in B, C, some of your lower end teams and knock out a Ray team. It's going to take you 2 teams, but at the end of the day, I mean, you look at it, I used 10 characters, but I didn't use any meta characters. Maybe wigs are considered meta. I don't really feel they are anymore, but like I didn't use any top shelf A+ characters to beat a meta team. Yeah. I think I just kind of read the conversation. I apologize.
No, not at all. It's awesome. So let's go into, and this is kind of a little bit outside of Arena, but it's that theory of if you don't have the meta, there's still a way to beat the meta, most likely, right? Like someone's going to figure it out. There's those times when when a Jawa and 2 characters can solo an entire phase of the hat raid that you're like, I have those characters, why didn't I figure them out? Like there's so many dynamics within this game that you can, where's that awesome team? I don't know if it's awesome, it's ridiculous. Screenshot. Bear with me here. Oh, here's the mashup team. And then what is
all this serious Galaxy of Heroes talk is killing my buzz. Yeah, I have to go. Not enough talk about jizz or diarrhea. Well, I'm going to ask you a dumb question. Is Jizz, is that the proper spelling of jizz?
I think so. Here's one of the things. Like, look at that. Someone made that. It's in someone's arena shard. And it's like this, they're like having so much trouble beating it with another Ray team. Like, what is that? Right. And it occurred to me today that, sometimes we like pair these characters with their faction, like, oh, like that's a terrible, like, bastard team of like 2 factions together. No, like it's just a skin on top of abilities, right? So you're looking at the abilities and you're trying to match them together, and if that works, that works. And so it's like there's just a million different mashups right now. There's a team that I've been using a little bit. I just need to get my Rex a little bit faster. I need to just take some time and mod them. But it's Rex lead with Night Sisters. Just like plows through General Kenobi, because Mother Talzin lead doesn't do as well as Asajj Ventress lead against Emperor Palpatine.
No, it does not. Dude, oh man. I cannot. I just got a little mini erection. I'm so excited I could ride my same fucking team out for yet another meta. This is fantastic.
I'm jealous.
I've become the laziest arena player in the planet. Like I don't have to ever get creative at all. Like the amount of creativity I had to use. This meta is so fucking easy to beat if you have an Asajj lead. All you run Asajj, Talzin, Zombie. Who gives a fuck? The other 4th Night Sister, probably Daka, and then you run Raid Han. You stun Vader, and just melt the fucking team. It's just like they don't stand a chance. I could beat the best Palpatine teams on my shard in like, I don't know, 30 fucking seconds. It's ridiculous how bad it is. Like you just lead off of the Asajj's AoE. You stun Vader with Han first. And you lead off with Asajj's AoE under that Zeta leadership. I don't even think you need the Zeta on it. Underneath her leadership, she's just going to remove turn meter, an AoE turn meter removal plus some damage, and then your Talzin goes right after, drops the plague in this ball game. Apart from Palpatine's little suck the health down move, they can't get rid of the plague. It's pretty phenomenal. I'm having a lot of fun. Just it's kind of cool. Okay, I'm done.
Yeah, no, I have so I zated my Mother Talzin. versus my Ventress, but I've been running Ventress lead, but it's still RNG dependent. I have to move the mods around because my Ventress, I've been running her slow so that if I'm facing a Ray team with Han, then she can take all of the buffs off at once, and I don't have like her taking them off and then Han putting up crit damage and everything that he puts up. I just have her like slow enough so she can take off everything, but I think I have to speed her up in order to have her as lead and to counter EP. GoodOl'Maurice, is it okay? You sent me those PNGs. Is it okay if we show all of those? We're gonna make a little transition right now into territory wars and some stupid little teams that are beating others in territory wars.
Yeah, I mean, I put them in the folder. You can use whatever you want.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure. So
Yeah,
I want to share all your teams because it's kind of giving away your TW strategy, right? But I love this bottom of the barrel offense teams for GoodOl'Maurice. Like you're pretty badass in territory wars. I keep like begging you to teach me, and you just figure that like we should all understand how to each take down 12 teams on fucking offense.
Well,
territory wars. It's not true, but like it's cool to see like your bottom of the barrel, like teams with 3 toons, 4 toons, like mismatches. You got your droids in there.
Well, it's picking apart. Like we just talked about Rebel Leia. You could take Rebel Leia in there. Now, granted, there is a scoring change coming, but we kind of talked about this the other night. Like if you can, as long as you finally beat the team, you were telling me all about it. Like if you finally beat, it makes perfect sense. If you go in there and you can finally beat the team with all of your characters standing, it's not going to penalize you very much. So I mean, you can go in there with these characters, like we just talked about Rebel Leia. I'll bring in a Rebel Leia team, kind of knock out a BB-8. Then I'll bring in like there's like a little Phasma. I don't know what pictures you're showing, but like there's a Phasma lead with my 2 leftover First Order that I don't use elsewhere, my other First Order team. And you can just kind of plug in like Sunfac or Geonosian Soldier, some sort of hard hitting character if they assist. You can just kind of pick them apart pretty quickly with and not using any meta characters, because I'm in a higher. Our guild is 142 million GP, and all of our players have an average of like 2.85 million GP, which means that we have lots of characters that are not meta. They're not good characters, but if I could pick apart a team with 15 of those non-meta characters, I mean that's pretty clutch, and we can get through the wall quicker. We can get to the ships. We can get to the back of the board, and that's just what I do pretty much. It's kind of time consuming, but at the same time it's kind of fun because we all have these characters. Like I played a long time, and Geonosian Soldier used to be a part of the meta. Royal Guard used to be part of the meta. Like just some of these crazy characters I have in Phasma used to be meta. Like there's a lot of characters that you haven't used in so long. You're like, wow, I've kind of forgot this character is pretty good. It's fun to get in there. You're not going to beat like a CLS chase team straight up, but you can bring in 2 teams, 3 teams, just as long as you're killing a character. Don't go in there and just eat shit and get your ass whooped and load up turn meter. Like as long as you can beat a character, I'll gladly trade. Now my roster is a little larger than definitely somebody in like a 60 million GP guild, but like at my point in the game, like if I can take 5 characters in and take out a meta character, that's kind of worth it to me, because I mean I probably start TW offense with like 90 usable characters. So if I have to sacrifice 15 to get through 5 meta characters, I feel like that's a fair deal, because you only have to win 4 battles technically. Everybody in the guild has to win 4 battles. So I feel like that's I've got 2, 3 meta offensive teams that will take down a team 1 for 1, and then the rest of my roster is wide open to get 1 or 2 wins. So it's fun. It's fun, I guess. I don't really know where I was going.
No, it's awesome. Like that's what you like. It's and you're not gonna get that way playing 2 arena battles a day. Like you're not gonna get the knowledge of the game and the knowledge of the mechanics playing 2 arena battles a day. We don't have Galactic War anymore. You can't like retreat out and try again and figure out teams that way. And you do not want to be figuring out teams in territory wars. The only way to practice right now, and I kind of feel like this is this is a way that they're making a lot of money. Like I can guarantee you that from the top guilds, they're refreshing not only 50 but 100 crystals every day to do at least 5, but 10 or 15 battles every single day, just trying out teams. My shard mates make fun
I
of
minimum
me.
10, average 10 to 15.
B Masu said, "Show the Orgasmo tab." Yeah, I fucked up and posted my teams in the chat, and B Masu's been riding my balls. Speaking of which, B Masu's been like giving me a guilt trip on that. I just want to apologize, B Masu. B Masu had like a little plan in place earlier, and I like called him out in the Discord. Just want to apologize. He's been giving me some guilt trips.
Does it make you feel better that he called your plan a little plan, Bimasu?
No, he shouldn't.
I'm here for you, Bimasu.
Holy shit! I just realized, like, I'm like watching the stream. I'm like, "Where's this Orgasmo tab?" I realized I was an hour and 10 minutes behind on the live. Damn. See, okay, this what we're looking at here, like, yeah, the Phasma lead, first order, and first order execution. Those are my leftover first order characters, and underneath Phasma, first order top pot. Actually, he's one of those characters I talked about earlier. You really load him with offense. He doesn't need much speed because in this case, he's going to be assisting. First order executioner, great as an assisting. He's great under either lead. He's going to be a really, really good character. I mean, probably he's going to make the top 5 first order character. Whoever you want to decide to run, he's probably going to be in the mix once he's farmable. This Newt Gunray team is a team we talked about in the past. And Geonosian characters like Geonosian Spy here, everyone makes fun of me. They think I'm just a huge homer, but he's fucking phenomenal for territory wars. Like that Boba Fett's the same way. I can't see any scenario where you want to use either of these characters on defense. These are offensive characters. They could just like Boba Fett in terms of TW. Like your face is, the CLS Chase is like a popular combo. Like Church is back there like building heals over time, building heal over time. Next thing you know, he's got like 7 or 8 heal over times. Bubba can bypass taunt if he's got that buff on his head with his execute, swoop in, kill Church, and you just neutralized the heal over time for the whole team. You've crippled the team, and you use one fucking character to do it. Geonosian Spy is the same way, especially if you play like a Ray team, and he pops that Illuminated Destiny. All of a sudden, it's just his eyes just light up. He's got 9 buffs over somebody's head. That's bam. That's 90.
Did you share my CLS killer, T?
No.
Did you save it at all?
No. What's that one? The Newt?
No, my guaranteed CLS killer, my Grand Elmo Throne team.
No.
If you guys really if you guys are really serious about TW, like I've got these tabs here up on this, but everyone should really be utilizing these tabs. Like you see the W Delish, those are my defensive teams, and I'm not going to show you those, but my offensive teams are here. You really should build your teams. I made a video for the guild the other day. We were kind of discussing TW, and what I was stressing is like you can't go into TW unorganized and just like a clusterfuck. Like you have to pre-build your teams and have like this Newt Gunray, Night Sister Acolyte, Initiate, Spy, and Sunfact. That is not a good team, but it's a serviceable team because I have it modded and preset and ready to go. Like you wait for your time. There's certain counters for certain teams. Just build your teams ahead of time, and just have them ready to go. There's certain teams they're gonna thrive against. There's certain teams they're not going to be good for. You can't just go in there just willy nilly and just like I'm gonna use like just 5 random rebels. That's probably not going to work for you. Your teams have to flow and they have to flow. They have to work together. It takes some time to set up for TW. It really, really does. But if you take that time, if you spend a few hours, over the course of a week or two in between TWs, you get 5, 6, 8, 9 days to kind of set up some teams. You'll notice instantly that like, hey, I just did way better this TW because I had teams preset and modded to work together. That's pretty important. That's a pretty important tip that probably a lot of people don't really utilize, like just setting offensive presets, if you will.
And I think for me right now, I feel like my defensive teams are there. Like I've got because that's, I mean, it's not the most important, but you just like that's the first thing you do. So that's the first thing that you kind of have to take care of. It's the easiest as well. Like we've gone through our guild's roster and looked at all of the BB-8s and been like, okay, Darth Susie, let's put some more speed on your BB-8 because it's just going to be an easy win, right? And so we've looked at our defensive teams somewhat. Mine still need more improvement, but they're there. And now for me, it's like it's my offensive. I need to focus more on offense and figure that out a little more and mod to offense, like you said, like make teams flow together, build teams for offense, understand how these teams that I never use are going to to collectively take down tunes like CLS. I'm going to show this video. I can't remember what it is. This is a video of you taking down a raid team with some bottom of the barrel tunes. But basically you've got, I think, 3 Imperial troopers there: Snow, Veers, Stark, and then you've got BB-8 and Royal Guard backing you up.
Oh yeah, this is one of the very few videos that actually I couldn't believe it. I was like, damn, this one actually recorded. I was trying to record a bunch of videos in TW. Like the thing is, like the game is forcing you to have characters like the troopers, like Rogue One, like Phoenix, like General Leia. A lot of these characters are decent if you take the time to mod them. Like, a lot of these teams are serviceable at lower gears too, like gear 9, gear 10. Like you don't have to have them all gear 12 and pimped out. I mean, it's helpful. I mean, the higher the gear, the better. But some of the teams, especially like Phoenix, they don't need all the gear levels to really be effective. Yeah. Now, granted, a little disclaimer: this is not the strongest raid team I'm facing here, right? But I'm using 5 basically non-meta characters. Like, where the fuck else am I going to use Snow Trooper? No one uses Night Sisters on defense anymore. So where am I going to use these characters?
I like to use mine versus Zal.
It could be, but see, like Zai is a global guild, so usually, like the Americans have the luxury of just taking down all the meta teams, and when we go to sleep, the Australians, we have a couple guys like Bimasu in Hawaii. We have people, in Switzerland. They wake up in the morning and they just burn through the whole fucking board, and then the Americans wake up and kind of help finish it off. That's kind of what we've been doing lately, anyway. It's working. Like we kind of restructured a little bit before this last TW, and it really worked. We won for the first time, and a little bit. So, but it was good. I feel like guys are really getting into it now, and I'm a little more competitive, I think, than a lot of the guild. Like a lot of the guys in my guild, I think I'm a little too competitive sometimes, but everyone's kind of grasping on and kind of getting what we're into, and it's a good feeling, It
The
seems
next
like
one we're gonna. Go ahead.
No, I'm done. I'm just rambling now. I'm drunk.
The next video that I have is I'm gonna go over a couple ones that we did last week, just so that we have them all in one place. Is a video from we have all these like awesome concentrated players in the Wolfpack right now. Like I just love when like a player, like our average is 2.7 about right now, but we're still bringing in players at like 2.3, 2.4 because we see how stacked their rosters are. Like you can have a player at 2.4.
They built a pure meta team. They built a pure meta account and literally leveled nothing crap. It was crazy to watch. It's like, whoa, why did you level this account so strategically?
And they have like they understand mods, and so we've got these guys who are like Fa. So I'm going to show you this video right now. So this is one of Fa's videos, and he does amazing on offense, and he was 2.1, I think, when we brought him into the guild. He's pay to play, so he's a little bit more now, but it's like 2.4. But he's getting like 7-8 offensive and and going against big teams, like going against TLS, going against DP. So this is like we're kind of looking at Maurice and I were looking at this beforehand. I think like the short trooper looks like he went down really fast at the beginning, but but the Vader's like super tanky, and not going down. So and it is a Zeta team. I'm pretty darn sure, but these are clones,
Well, it's very feasible that short troop is only 3-star because, like, a lot of us have been playing a while. Short trooper had 2 full tournaments that you could get him unlocked and start.
No, we've never seen a 3-star storm. All the guilds we're facing are I don't know if we've seen a 6-star stormtrooper or short trooper.
Okay. Well, yeah, you're right. Yeah, but
the mods, right? Maybe they have shitty mods. Like it's possible it had no speed and no protection or something, or no mods at all. We've seen that tons of times.
Or it could be a case that his clones are just pimped the fuck out. Like he still thrives on using his clones in P4. Who knows? Like my clones used to be pretty phenomenal, but then over time, now they don't really use them in the raid anymore. They've just kind of gotten plucked over, and they're really very mediocre at best now. Like even with that Cody Zeta, they're just.
I have such a hard time. If I made such an awesome team, I can't take them apart. I'm too attached. So I still have a P4 raid clone team fully intact with perfect mods.
Oh, I used to have them all decked out with offense and crit chance that it really didn't need much speed. I used to have them pimped. I took a lot of time modding them for P4, and then these Akbar teams came out. I'm like, well, fuck it, I'm never gonna use them again. Like I don't know. They're useful for TW. I mean, granted, you do have a Zeta invested in it, but this guy doesn't. This guy might not have a Zeta at all in it. But like my team, I got a Zeta Cody. They're an excellent cleanup team if you can go in versus Ray and kill a character or two. It's kind of a sad use of a Zeta, but they work for cleanup and first like the Phoenix and smaller teams that you might come across in TW.
Yeah, they're decent at Phoenix for sure. You can take out some mediocre Empire with it, no problem.
And if you haven't, as an active member of your guild, as a guild leader, as an officer, taken a very, very close look at the territory wars changes, you need to do that because it's going to take you a half a day just to wrap your head around what the hell is going on. Like it is completely topsy-turvy, upside down. It is basically like they've just taken territory wars. Maybe not actually. Now that I'm wrapping my head around it a little bit more, but it certainly feels at first read that they're just taking away this whole game mode and replacing it with something completely different, because the scoring mode, which originally was worded, I think, very clearly to be in place only in the event of a tie, which is quite rare. In like I haven't even heard of a tie in like a long time, is being replaced with. So originally it was worded that in the event of a tie, there's a scoring system in place, but the update to the quality of life briefing that the developers have given us, it's very clear now that this is going to be a scoring system, whether it's a tie or whether it's not. And like if I could do a very in short, you get 20 points for clearing a team straight up without losing any toons, and you get 6 points for clearing a team and losing all of your toons except for one on the third try. So you're going to basically get bonus points for being able to clear teams with 1-to-1. And it's like the strategy is really interesting. Maybe it's going to change things completely. Maybe it's not. People are going to be pulling more stuff on offense or not. Like it's a really big deal, a really big change to territory wars. And if your guild is focused on it at all, you're going to want to fully brief yourself and fully understand what the hell is going on, because it's super confusing. But yeah,
well, we were brainstorming for the stream, and you explained it like crystal clear, and like I was like, damn, you're right. Like there was there's ways. There are ideal ways to manipulate it, I guess, like how to play it. And I'm already brainstorming on ways to kind of try to present it to my guild. Some of that stuff you were saying, like you only gain, a few points. If you go in with a meta team and clear another meta team, but you only have one person left standing, you're really not losing that much if you take in 2, 3, 4, 5 teams to beat it, as long as the last team you beat it with have all of its original members standing. So,
Yeah, like that's the trick, and I don't know what they're going to do about that, but it seems like it's worded so that, okay, so I'll just break it down. You get 5 points for clearing a squad. That's your base. If you clear a squad, you're getting 5 points regardless. If you clear it the first time, you get a bonus of 10. If you clear it the second time, you get a bonus of 5. And if it takes you 3 or more times to clear it, you get no bonus at all. Additionally, you get 1 point for every toon standing at the end of your battle. So if you go in one team versus one team and you clear it out completely and you have all 5 toons standing, you get your original 5 that you're always going to get. You get your 10 bonus points, which is 15. And then you get 5 bonus points, one for each toon still standing, which makes 20. Now, if it takes you, if you go in there with one team, you only have 1 toon standing at the end. That means you have your 5 original points plus your 10 for clearing it the first time, plus only 1. So you go down from 20 to 16. If you take in 2 teams to do that, and you do as good as you can for your first team, and then you clear it with your second team and you have all 5 toons standing, then it's going to be 15 points. So clearing it with 1 team could be as low as 16 points. Clearing it with 2 could be as high as 15 points. So there's that. Now, there's this little twist they put in it that, as you saw in that video that we just saw, the clones versus Palpy. Where did that go?
Well, basically, what's going to happen is you're going to use all of your bullshit to clear the meta teams, right? And then you're going to go in there against the weak teams and just destroy them. Like, that's ultimately going to gain you more points over the course of a TW, because there's only maybe 4 zones of really, really strong meta teams. So if you can just bring in 80 of your worst characters to knock out 2 characters or 2 teams apiece, and you save like your 10 to 20 really strong characters just to mow through the rest, all 5 standing, you're going to gain more points. It's kind of backwards. You know what I mean? Like, okay, I'll save my really strong team for the Phoenix, so I just dust that ass and have all 5 people standing, so I get more points. Like, you can just bring in 5 teams to beat CLS. As long as you have 5 characters standing at the end, you're only losing a few points.
That's a strat. So it's that last kind of piece, is that if it takes you 6 teams to beat a CLS team, and on that very last try, you still get your 5 base points for beating the team, and then you get your 5 points for having each toon standing. So basically, if you go in with your 7th team and you have little R2 there, or Chase with 1 little tick of red health, you're going to just want to let the time run out. Like, this is theoretical, right? Like, we don't know if this is really how it's going to work, but if it does work like this, you're going to let the time run out, and then you're going to go back in with Cup and Mob Enforcer and 4 chintzy toons, and then 1 that is going to just kill bays a little bit. And then you'll get that bonus for those 5 toons still standing at the end, plus the base 5 you're always getting for beating the team. So the minimum that you're going to get is 10, the maximum you're going to get is 20. So that's just so much math. It's so much math, and it just feels like random. It's like you take 1 team off on offense, then you lose those points on defense. Like, it just feels like a wash in a lot of ways. But it's really just figuring out the strategy and also the emotion behind it. One of the best pieces of advice that I've gotten from a guild leader is that you want to demoralize the other team. Like, that's really what you're doing. Like in the first, couple of territories before ships, you want that so tight, so like your defense to be so perfect that the other guild is like, I can't make this a full-time job. Like, I just can't do that, guys. Like, I'm out. And you just gotta chip away at the morale by what you put on defense. And I don't think that's going to change with this new makeup.
Well, because currently in the game, the only thing that a guild has to represent themselves with, like, we can all make posts in the forum and, like, just like, I don't know, like powder our, what am I trying to say? The only representation of as a guild, like what we put on defense represents who we are as a guild. Like the strength of our guild is represented through our defense in territory wars. Like that's all we have. Like otherwise, just like, well, I heard, the Alliance Zai was a really bang up guild. Like this is all just hearsay, But like if you face a team and they have like stellar defense and you get your ass stomped, you're like, damn, that's a good guild, On the flip side, if you play a team, you just like clear the board in 4 hours and they can't get through your first zone, you're like, damn, that guild's some bullshit, just
yeah, like when we fought NSC, like, and you learn.
That's what I'm trying. That's what we're trying to kind of push a little bit in our guild is like, the better, take a little pride, take some pride in your defense. Like, take the time to make your defensive team stout, make them as great as you can, and just pop them in there. Because if somebody goes in and can't beat your team, and they end up like copying your team and putting it as their defensive team, that's like the ultimate compliment. Like, hey, I got my defensive team idea from Zai. From his guild we face Zai. That's cool. That's a compliment to us as a guild. If somebody just copies what we did, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, like the best compliment we've got on and we have a guild kind of helping us, so I don't know if it was actually our original idea. But,
Whoa.
Guild does a lot of that organization. Huh? This is a throwback video of Spy, but it's like a guild came in and was like, we have never seen.
Someone dropped their mic and it's making a lot of noise.
No.
Now it's better. That was weird.
It
was like a clunk and a big buzz, but it's gone.
No, the clunk was me. Like I'm drunk now. I'm like pacing around while I do. Like I just stepped on a plate.
You're getting all agitated.
It had nothing to do with them. I'm holding the mic in my hand, like I'm on the computer mic. I'm like holding it in my hand. But no, you were saying what were you saying? I'm sorry.
I can't remember.
Perfect.
The best compliment that we've had is that like we've never seen that team comp before, and this is after like a team trying to get through it for however many hours, and it's like, and it's fun. It's fun to theory craft. I think that's such a integral part of the game. It's not a part of the game where I'm particularly adept at, mostly because that's not where I choose to spend my time. I choose to spend my time, interacting with players and managing the guild and kind of building the background strategy. But it's I say this every stream. It's an exciting part. It's an exciting time for the game.
Well, this game mode has really personally, like, really expanded my game knowledge because traditionally I can make offensive teams that can beat anything, right? Like I can build an offensive team that can beat you, but up until I got the Night Sisters, my specialty wasn't defensive teams. Like I'd take first every day, and then I'd start the next day in like 25th place. So it's been nice to really focus on defense. It's helped my game a lot, focusing on defensive teams, to put in and kind of building teams defensively. So it's helped me a lot.
Is my mic still fucking up?
You sound fine to me. I don't know about on stream. I'm not really. Like I said, I'm like pacing now.
Mr. Rixel says, I thought Alderaan exploded there for a minute. Let's go back to our outline, which we actually create. We take this quite seriously. I love doing this. Thank you guys. I'm so glad that we all started.
We
this.
actually covered everything in the
Shut
pretty
your
much.
face.
I will say, like, percentage of outline covered in stream a lot of time is one of the highest of all time tonight.
Yeah, it's like I think we're all really passionate about it. One thing I wanted to share from Snake within our guild, he just said something so wise, and I was like, Jesus, that's such a simple thing. So one of the things that we listed on the advertisement is like trying to get ahead of the next meta. And a super simple way you can do that is by simply having 5 toons, not necessarily geared, but at 7 stars in each faction. So you know that the trend is, hey, we need this particular faction, we need 5 of any toons within this faction to tackle this legendary event. Well, why not just be proactive and have those toons waiting at 50 out of 100 or 100 out of 100? Don't even have to spend those last credits to get them. Just have them waiting and ready for when that faction comes. Somebody told me that
level up your bounty hunters.
Level up your bounty hunters, yeah. Somebody told me that Tuscan Shaman. Oh Jesus, really? Tuscan Shaman is he? So he's not in the new movie because that looks like Tuscan Shaman in
Solo.
trailer.
No,
It hella looks like him.
And everybody's saying piloting in that one scene was Maz, but no, Maz doesn't have 4 arms. It's a bounty hunter whose name is eluding me, but I would possibly pay attention to bounty hunters in this next quarter.
Ooh. I didn't give a hashtag brag on our channel yet, but I did on RSG. And if you're not subscribed to RSG, it's probably not likely because they basically made us so everybody that listens to us also listens to RSG. But in case you don't, go subscribe to them. Their link is down below. We love them. They're just, cornerstone members of this community and just so very inclusive and wonderful. They've done a lot. So go
regular stream on Wednesday at 8 Eastern. They run Jedi Academy at 10 a.m. Eastern. They do their after hours Saturday night stream, around 10. And then they've now got a new segment that they're running a lunchtime stream for those at 12 Eastern, Monday through Friday.
Yeah, if you just find the channel, they stream 26 hours a day. All you gotta do is find their channel, and they have something for you.
They do.
And then Infinity is proud of his ADD and live streams all the time too, playing games or whatever else he feels like.
Okay, so I guess this dude just isn't. I'm gonna spoiler alert for anyone who's so religious that they don't look at trailers. I can't believe this stormtrooper guy is still fucking the air on the stream. Okay, let me try to get something else on real quick here.
Well, to kind of touch on what you were saying and leveling up your twos, like if like oh, I don't want to invest in this character because they suck. Yeah, maybe now, but you still, like, let's say out of the arena store, but there are a lot of undesirable characters in there, but it's still a wise investment to at least get their shards, because in the event that we get some legendary event, it was kind of rumored we might need like HK-47 for any Darth Vader. It wasn't true, but it was realistic that
it might still be though. It might still be
right. But what I'm saying is it's much easier. Like, even in the event that you wanted to spend some money on the game, you can buy the gear. A lot of times, unless you just have massive amounts of currency built up in certain stores, you can't buy the shards unless you just buy chromiums, which is a crapshoot. That's not a good investment. Chromiums are not a good investment, in my opinion. Others might argue, I don't know. But like, if you could have the shards, let's say you have a 7-star HK-47 at gear 1, and the Revan event, let's say a mysterious Revan event showed up, and you need HK-47, at least you have the shards. All you need is the gear. It's much easier just to gear a character than it is to collect shards and gear a character. So it will help for the guilds that are more focused on TB, the TB element of the game. it will help your GP as a guild just to kind of get those characters.
But at the same time, if you don't know this, you want to slow your GP roll if you can. So we're the Wolfpack's right at we hit 140 million GP tonight. It feels like, I know that all of the guilds are growing, but it seems incredibly surreal to be like a big boy guild now.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, but like I was, and Teals was too. We're both like, stop seeding things. Like, we don't want to hit 140 before this next battle, because that next tier, there's a lot of very established guilds, guilds with a hell of a lot more mods than we have. So it's going to be challenging to move into that next tier. So we just wanted to stay, on Mummy's teat for one more time, which we got to.
Mummy's teat.
Mummy's teat. And for those nerds around here, I think we figured out this thing. I'm not 100% sure about this, but when you go into when you go into TW, you're matched with a guild based on your galactic power within the territory war. So it removes all toons that are below 6,000 galactic power. If there's just one toon in every one of your 50 rosters, that's 250,000 galactic power that it's removing from there. So theoretically, of course I have many toons that are below 6,000 galactic power. It's going to take all of those away. So you could theoretically be 142 million GP and be matched up with a guild that is 138 million GP, because your actual in-game TWGP is 139 million. So if you're I've wondered, why are we being at 120? We're 128, and we were matched with a guild that was 132, and I was like, this is bullshit. And I wrote this scathing letter to EA. Well, it was just because their actual the GP that they were playing with was still in our range. However, if you're going from 120 to 129 up into the 130, you're getting an extra Zeta if you win. So you want to be there, right? You want to be in that next GP level, and that is measured off of your whole game GP, the one that you look at every day when you go into the section with raids.
Well, that's something I didn't know. I had no idea. I thought it was just random, and you mentioned that the other day. I was like, oh, you know what? That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. So
it was Fermi that told us that in chat, I think, Teals.
That's you know what, that is the best explanation I've heard. So I'm just gonna roll with that as legit.
Yeah, let's just pretend.
That's correct.
So, I'm going to spread the gospel. If it's untrue, I apologize in advance. That sounds great to me, so I'm going to roll with it.
So that's the dude I thought was Tuscan Shaman there.
But we're talking about slow your roll GP wise. Yes, but not every guild has the same agenda as the Wolfpack. Not every guild has the same agenda as Zai. Not every guild has the same agenda. As any guild, every guild's different. You guys are hyper focused on TW, but I don't know, some other guild, random guild A, the Honey Humpers guild, they might be super hyper focused on
jelly time.
Say again?
Peanut butter jelly time.
Yes, peanut butter jelly time might be hyper focused in TB, but yet that one guy is strong enough to beat all of you motherfuckers in arena, and you let him take first. You should be ashamed of yourself. Peanut butter jelly time. Let him eat first. But that guild might be hyper focused on TB, so they're not. They want everybody to level all their characters up and go, build, fast, grow, because it will help us get to 45 and 48 stars. Every guild is different. So I think it's worth pointing out that the Wolfpack, the advice you guys give, while it's great advice, is a TW focused guild. It might not work for you guys if you're watching or listening. And for some reason, if you're watching this, post live, if you guys are focused on, super hyper focused on TB, or maybe preparing for raids, or if you're a smaller guild and you're prepping towards, the Rancor, heroic Rancor, the heroic tank, you do want to kind of build GP and get lots of characters ready.
And if you have specific questions about that,
a little bit.
we have a Discord. Join it. Tag us if you have a good question, and we can get you an answer.
Yeah, you guys should all tag Darth Bob with all of your heroic Rancor questions.
Yeah.
Darth Bob is our heroic
Rancor.
Rancor.
He's okay to wear a second time. Darth Bob. Sorry.
Darth Bob is our resident Rancor expert. So pepper Darth Bob with all your Rancor questions, preferably immediately. Like right now, you guys should go and just tag Darth Bob a whole bunch and ask him questions about the Rancor.
Yeah. If you're a person who's in Darth Bob's guild, there's a chance that he hasn't turned off those notifications. So invaders, he probably turned them off for nerfers, but go ahead and wake that guy up.
I will say Bob isn't the most vocal on the stream, but he is extremely attentive to our Discord server. Bob does do a great job.
His Discord presence is clutch.
Oh, it's strong, boy. You tag Darth Bob. I've messaged Darth Bob numerous. Like I messaged him tonight. Liquor store is closed in like 7 minutes where I live. Like, what are you drinking tonight? He responded immediately. I bought my bottle of liquor. If had I needed to, thank God I had many bottles. I don't want to buy a bottle of Jack Daniels. But like,
I think the worst response I've gotten from him was 10 minutes.
Yeah, Bob's man. Darth Bob, here's to you. We didn't drink tonight when Bob left, by the way. Can we go ahead and do that, or?
Oh, okay. It might put me over the edge, but let's go. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, this beer I'm drinking is so
oh no,
thick.
Oh no!
Like I just drank it all and then I get the bottle.
She's
blast.
getting nauseous.
That was a bad idea.
Well, you know what? We had lots of complaints tonight that we were too serious and not drunk and slurring. So hopefully this will help.
Do you guys want to have our after stream orgy on air tonight, just to make up for that?
No.
Teals, are you ever gonna come on stream again?
I show up for 15 minutes and then I disappear.
No, CUM.
Oh. How do you know I haven't since?
Well, I'd appreciate if you didn't mute yourself. So that's who I thought was Tusken Shaman, and I was super excited because I've geared Tusken Shaman to gear 11, and he's the only toon above, all of my gear 10 and gear 11 toons are modded, certainly my gear 12 for Territory Wars. He's got a bunch of level 1 freaking mods. It's just so
Tusken
sad.
Shaman is a bag of fucking shit. Nobody should hear Tusken Shaman that's watching this stream.
And anyone who regularly watches internet videos, just know that we have no fucking idea what we're talking about, and we're probably going to put you on the wrong track. So don't listen to us. Figure shit out for yourself.
Well,
okay?
If I could drop a little history lesson about the game here. Tusken Shaman was an Erodium character, a exclusively pay-to-play character that you could only buy. Like the marquee events we have now, those $12.99 packs where you buy and you get quote, you could get up to 330 shards, i.e. 5 to 7 shards every pack that you buy. Tusken Shaman was exclusively pay-to-play. And then they made these Erodium packs, and then they canceled the Erodium packs. And only a very few amount of people had him, or they had him almost a 7-star, and he was completely unattainable for months. You couldn't get him out of chromiums, you couldn't get him through farming. He was just a mystery character. The very few people that bought Tusken Shaman from the packs had him, and nobody else did. And god damn, he was terrible then. He's terrible now. That's all. History lesson over. That was dumb. I wish I just would have kept that to myself.
Don't look at my Skype chat then.
I'm kind of offended that nobody had a question for us.
We have lots of questions. We just ignore them.
No, I looked and looked and looked. Oh my god, I thought I was on the Star
we got one at the very bottom. What do you guys think about Zeb outside of a Phoenix Squad? I think Zeb is fucking phenomenal outside of a Phoenix Squad. Like you use
He
them.
will hit like specifically Zeta Zeb.
Even.
Zeb will hit
Zeta
like a
Zeb.
truck, especially if you put him under a lead that makes him hit even harder. I have absolutely no issue with him.
Any character that has dazed in their kit is a valuable asset to have in your arsenal of characters. It doesn't matter if you have the rest of the Phoenix Squad. He is a rebel, so we talked about that that rebel Leia team earlier with the tenacity. Like and that's great because if he's got tenacity, he's a great character. He's a rebel, so he flows all sorts of comps. In days, he does days. He does protection up, which is semi-useful, kind of, sort of. He's got a stagger in his kit. He's kind of slow, but he's very, very tanky. He's a very good character to have. But he is a motherfucker to gear. He's one of the hardest characters. Probably
Who are you
top.
talking about?
Zeb, top 5 characters.
Zeb.
Probably top 5 to 10 worst characters to gear in the game. He's extremely difficult. I used to actually use him with my way back in the mall meta. I used to use him with my Poe and Finn because he's got a mechanic in his kit where if he hits somebody that's exposed, he stuns them. He's got a lot of uses outside of a Phoenix Squad. But if you want to take him above Gear 9, you go ahead and strap yourself in because it's going to take you a long time. He's
Carbonti. You think GK is Carbonti heavy? Zeb's like 30% more? Like he is a pig. He's a pig. But he's like a tanky ass character that with the Zeta can hit for 50,000 K. Like that's pretty rare in the game. Plus his fracture, his days on basic, like he's cool. He's cool too. I farm things out to people. I'm like, I don't have time to make my defensive and offensive squads. Can you guys do that for me? And Fantasy came back and tried to keep my Phoenix team intact, but I don't want to do that. I love to run my chopper on my Ray team. I love to run an Ezra under an Admiral Akbar lead. And so these 3 toons out of Hera, Sabine, and Kanan and Zeb, 4, I guess, if you're
Kanan's Jedi. You know what I'm saying? You run a GK lead, Barriss, Kanan, Ezra, in I don't know, Grandmaster.
Yoda.
Or just Grandmaster Yoda, just to make them resistance proof. That's a pretty fucking solid team. You can split your Phoenix up all over the place, and they work great as a unit, yes. And if you do split them up, Hera is absolutely worthless. You're not going to use her anywhere. But you've got the rest of them that all have bits and pieces. Sabine's got the armor shredding ability, which is pretty clutch, especially if you're facing one of those Thrawn teams on defense with a Thrawn Shore Trooper. Snow Trooper, or not Snow Trooper, the Thrawn Shore Storm Krennic Death Trooper teams that some of us have seen on defense. Sabine's armor shredding just pretty much completely neutralizes all the benefits Stormtrooper brings to the team with all the stacking defense and stuff. Just pretty much eliminates it on a certain character.
Do you think her armor, what's that actually called? It's like it's a locked debuff.
Yeah, the armor shred.
That's okay. So let's call it armor shred. I just don't know if that's the actual name. But it's supposed to stack, right? It's supposed to stack. You're supposed to be able to put more than one on, but it doesn't register. It doesn't have a little 2.
It's called Dark Saber Strike.
It doesn't have a 2, so I never know. I don't know if it's valid to use it as a strategy to put it on that toon more than once because it doesn't indicate that there's 2 on there. Do you see what I mean? Heal over time. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It
says
shows
per
how
stack, and it's not resistible. So you just gotta.
But it doesn't actually
keep
show.
Count.
Maybe you just gotta keep count. Maybe they just want you to. I'll Vimasu. Can we have an I love everybody stream where we just have all the people that I love on here? But there's a lot. I love all these guys. It's just so great.
We should have an off night, as many people as we can tolerate on the stream,
I was gonna
You
freak
guys
you
should
out.
be jealous. Like
and give you an anxiety attack.
we all know
You're
Big Monster from all the streams and all the. He's real active on YouTube, supports a lot of streams and stuff. But I'll tell you firsthand, that guy kicks ass, man. We're the same guild together.
You
Big
and
Monster,
Bimasu are in a hardcore bromance.
dude.
And I know that you're not even gonna deny that because you're
Are you like using like a landline telephone? You need to adjust the tinfoil on your antenna.
Are you walking next to a high powered magnet? Go away from the magnet. Oh my god, mute yourself. I don't know. And on that bombshell.
Damn.
No, your mic just went ape shit bananas. You need to go ahead and can that.
I love you guys. You're a robot. Bye. Thanks for staying for the whole stream, 48 people.
Good
I
night,
fucking
all.
love our stream. I just fucking love it. I just love how nerdy we fucking are. I just adore it. I just love it, and I'm so grateful for the community that we,
Move the
fostered
background.
through this. It's sure, it's like we can normalize our existence because we're all just the same amount of idiots as each other. That's a very special.
For those of you that can't hear T-Bunny because of all the massive amounts of feedback she's having, basically she's saying she loves you and thank you guys for watching the stream.
Good night, all. Thank you. Press the button.
Oh, yeah.
Press the stop button.